Eugene Jackson, Jeremy Horn, Maurice Smith, Pedro the Rock Rizzo, and Dan the Beast Severn. The greats of the UFC return to the octagon Cajun style. UFC 27. It's time to get real.
Here in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, as usual, the Octagon regulations. 3 judges will score the bout. Bout duration, 3 5-minute rounds. No belts on the line tonight. All fights will be 3 5-minute rounds. The round winner will get a 10. It's a 10-point must scoring system here in the UFC based on effective striking, grappling, aggressiveness, as well as octagon control. Our judges for tonight's fights: Jeff Mullen out of Memphis, Tennessee; David Roy out of Apopka, Florida; and our local judge, Joe Ancona out of Metairie, Louisiana. Back to you, Goldie.
James, thank you very much. Great to be here in New Orleans, Louisiana. The state of Louisiana, always a popular destination. We thank all those involved in letting us bring the UFC back to this great state once again. We'll get it started with the heavyweights tonight. 2 guys who can absolutely throw them. Ted Williams is set to take on Ian Freeman. Freeman, 9-1 all-time in mixed martial arts. English heavyweight Ian Freeman enters the octagon for the 3rd time tonight. Making his debut at last March's UFC 24, Freeman took on Scott Adams. The fight immediately went to the ground, where both fighters exchanged submission attempts until Freeman found himself on the wrong side of an Achilles lock. At UFC 26, he returned to the octagon to take on Nate Schroeder. Determined to show off his striking skills, Freeman scored with heavy bombs throughout the 2nd round until the match was stopped. He had shown that he belongs in the octagon and looks to build on that victory tonight. Heavyweight Ted Williams returns to the octagon for the 2nd time tonight. A former All-America college wrestler and California State Judo champion, Williams made his UFC debut last March. He set the tone early with strikes and never let up, scoring the knockout victory over Steve Judson in the 1st round. Ted Williams goes for 2 in a row in the octagon tonight. So we get set for heavyweight matchup number 1 this evening, a night which will climax with heavyweights Dan Severn and Pedro the Rock Rizzo. Ian Freeman from Sunderland, England, still fighting out of Sunderland, trained by Jason Godzi at the Total Martial Arts Academy. 33 years old, a powerful puncher, comfortable on the ground, and quick to point out that his wife is behind him 100% in the fight game, which is why he feels he has been so successful. Heavy-handed, no doubt.
Heavy-handed, he's training a lot of groundwork, and he's incredibly strong. Look at the physique on this guy.
So Ian Freeman set to take on Big Ted Williams. Ted Williams 1-0 in the UFC. His debut at UFC 24 was a knockout in the 1st round against Steve Judson, and he really did knock him out. Ted Williams boasts a 9-0 overall record in mixed martial arts competition. You'll notice a much slimmer Ted Williams than the one you saw enter the octagon at UFC 24. He's dropped about 25 pounds, comes in just under 260.
Yeah, he still has a size advantage, but he's a great wrestler. He's got good stand-up skills, and he does. He looks a lot trimmer. He looks a lot better. This may be the fight where he goes some distance.
3 5-minute rounds are scheduled if needed. Tail of the tape looks like this for the heavyweight matchup between Williams and Freeman. Combat grappling against Valet Tudo. Freeman is 3 years older, but he gives away 2 inches and a lot of weight. So, as Frank pointed out, Williams is down from 280, but he still has a size advantage. We get set for a big evening here in New Orleans, Louisiana, and we welcome in, as always, the veteran voice of the UFC, working his 16th Ultimate Fighting Championship. Here's the voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the UNO Lakefront Arena in the Big Easy, New Orleans, Louisiana. Tonight, SCG Sports presents UFC 27, the greatest mixed martial arts event of its kind in the world today. Tonight, the ultimate bad boys will all compete in the ultimate testing ground, the Octagon. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the fighters are ready, the judges are ready, the great fans of Louisiana, and the millions of fans watching around the world are ready, because now it's time to begin the Ultimate Fighting Championship! Our first fight consists of 3 5-minute rounds for these heavyweight contenders, beginning with the fighter standing to my left. He is a Vale Tudo expert with a mixed martial arts record of 9-1. He is a veteran of UFC 24 and UFC 26. Standing 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 221 pounds. He comes to us all the way from Sunderland, England. Please welcome back Ian the Machine Freeman! And his opponent standing to my right, he is a former California State Judo and AAU Sambo champion with a mixed martial arts record of 9-0. Standing 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 258 pounds, fighting out of Hesperia, California. Please welcome Ted the Gladiator Williams! And our referee this evening is Big John McCarthy.
An anniversary for Big John McCarthy. His 30th UFC here tonight. 15 years in martial arts and jiu-jitsu with the Los Angeles Police Department.
Here we go, gentlemen.
And we are set.
Ready? Are you ready? Let's get it on!
My favorite time of the night, Frank. I hear those words for the first time, and Freeman and Williams are set to get it underway. Both heavy-handed, both comfortable on the ground.
Be interesting to see who lands first and how that dictates. Oh, there we go. Ian let that go, that right hand.
Both have been inside these gates before. And these are similar body types, even though Williams is bigger.
Now, I'm watching Williams, and he's not watching his hands. He's watching his waist. So he was always planning a takedown. I think he wants to fight a ground game here.
Well, Freeman is considered the more powerful puncher. Williams is considered the more well-versed in submissions.
And I think he's a better wrestler as well. I think Williams had style. Great takedown there. Really dug those legs out of the bottom. Ian looks pretty cagey. You see him using the fence there. He's pretty sharp. He knows where he's at. And he doesn't want to go in there.
Using the fence for a little bit of leverage with the left foot a moment ago, which is legal. You can't grab the fence, but certainly you can push off it. With an open hand, you can't grab it.
It's a big knee came in there from Williams. He's in a great control spot right here. He's got his head, he's got his leg, he's got him pinned in there pretty sharp. He followed up with some elbows, maybe some knees. He could really do some damage right here.
He's got him in an adverse situation here, that's for certain. Williams has Freeman exposed. What he can do with it, though, we will soon find out. Couple of punches.
Williams doing a great job. Basic control, keep away from the hips, do some damage to him. Elbows, knees, really, there's another nice elbow right there.
Side mount, and there's a good knee to
Big
the solar
knee,
plex.
right to the body.
Yep.
Oh, followed up with the elbow. He's throwing great combinations right here.
Come on, keep yourself working.
And another one. Trying to set it up, trying to land it. What can Freeman do defensively?
Well, he needs to use that fence more. He needs to crawl up on that fence or get his feet up on there. It's the other wall that you can use to bridge off of. And he's not utilizing as much as he should, although he knows where it's at and what it does.
Here he goes right here. It's almost as if he heard you. But yet he's got 260 pounds applied on top of him. Makes it tough to be mobile.
That, and he needs to block them hips. You can't let them knees come down. It's way too much power to be falling on his head. Great straight shot there with the right hand from Williams.
Now, Ted Williams is almost exclusively working out with Boss Rutan. He calls Boss Rutan his primary trainer now. Also, Jeff Smith and Gene LaBelle working with Williams. And it's interesting that he described his opponent as a gladiator because that is what Williams uses as his nickname. He said, I'm pretty sure I'll submit him on the ground. He does not think he's a great boxer, but he does have the heavy hands. But this is where he wanted this fight to go, was down to the mat.
Yeah, I think Williams is totally dictating the fight. He's doing exactly what he wants to do. He is doing a lot of damage here. It doesn't look like it, but he's pulling shots in from combinations, elbows, knees, and elbows and knees are the hardest bones in your body. So he's really getting them in there. You see Williams' left hand, it's under kind of Freeman's butt there. He's really controlling him. He's holding him down, just pretty much having his way with him.
3 5-minute rounds. If it goes the distance, we will render a judge's decision. This is the first of the 3 rounds. First fight of the night from the Lakefront Arena in New Orleans, Louisiana. Mike Goldberg, Frank Shamrock, James Wormy, our great crew from SEG Sports. Glad to be with you for another night that we hope will be historic. UFC 27.
We talked about that fence being a wall, and right now Freeman is totally stuck in the wall, and he's taking damage because of it. He needs to turn them hips around and get out of there.
I mean, Williams is in a great position here in the first round. John McCarthy at the fighters meeting last night told all the fighters that when we get into a situation where the fight is on the ground, he is going to keep them busy. In fact, he went so far as saying if they're standing toe-to-toe and not throwing, he is going to get the young men fighting here tonight busy. You hear him right there say the same thing. It should pick up the pace of the action. It keeps the pressure on the fighters to keep something happening.
Yeah, it needs to happen. You know, they need to work. They need to fight. It's about combat out there. It's about conflict. And someone's got to stick it out there. Someone's got to win. You hear the power of that. The sound on the mat was just incredible.
Freeman is very strong. His consistent bench press is 308 pounds for 10 reps.
Wow.
But because of the fencing, we see in the first round as it winds down, Frank, he was unable to utilize his strength at all, nor able to utilize any mobilization.
Yeah, and he was totally overpowered by Williams' position. Really, really took it to him and controlled him.
He's just frustrated there.
So here's a takedown. He was really in deep on him and hanging on to the legs, and when he got that rip and he pulled him out, you know he went down hard. And here's his combinations. Working great combinations. You see he's going to get this elbow going. And that was really one of his biggest strikers right there, right on the tempo. It's a great shot. Working his combos again. He's just throwing them short elbows.
Throw some bombs, okay?
It's a beautiful example of just total control and then dictating the pace of the fight. Right now, Williams is in control. He's got the foot on the throttle. And all he's got to do is keep pushing it, and I think he can push Ian over and make him crack.
Well, Ian Freeman got up with a look of frustration after that first round. Doesn't seem hurt, but what he wasn't able to do was anything that he wanted to do in the first round. So they're back on their feet here to start the second, and the machine wants to take it to the gladiator.
And you see where Williams is looking. He's just looking at his waist. He wants Ian to step forward with them big power hands, and he's just going down. That's all he cares about.
There's a knee pushed down hard, and Williams again in a similar position as he was in the first round, and that is having his opponent pushed up against the fence. A big knee.
Big knee. He's got a front choke there.
Now he's got to be careful because Freeman.
Williams still has the weight advantage, so even in that position against the fence, he's still wearing him down.
He really wants to get him back down to his backside. I keep seeing that left arm come around, but he's not in a dangerous position when they're on their feet, is he, Frank?
Nah, he's not hurting. The distance is too close. See Freeman doing some great wrestling moves here, trying to keep his head in the center, trying to keep his legs back so he doesn't get swept again. I feel like he should be coming down with some elbows or something here on the backside, trying to soften him up, you know, trying to do damage at the same time.
Kind of break the spirit of Ted Williams, because so far Ted Williams looks like an uncaged animal who has all the confidence in the world.
He's totally dominating. You see Freeman working his hips. He's got great hips. He's out, he's away, he's standing up. But what kind of physical toll is this taking on him to play with that big man?
Yeah, it's funny, I was just going to ask you, but vice versa. With Williams now not able to get his opponent down to the ground, Frank, is this a physical couple of minutes for Ted Williams, expending a lot of energy?
I think so, but as the bigger man, I think he's done more damage. Very low shot there. He went back to his roots. I'm wondering if he's trying to get a breath of air. He's got that single leg, and he just keeps ripping it. If he doesn't keep ripping it, Ian's going to get up on his back. He might be in some real danger here.
So Ian Freeman now trying to work Ted Williams. He has his back.
He's got his back. Good shot right on the chin. That softened him up. You saw the expression right away change. He's trying to take a real breather now. This is when Ian really needs to push it with the strikes. He's got big hands. Oh, great right hand right there.
So Ian Freeman now less frustrated. The match has come to the center of the octagon, and it is he who is in the closed guard of Ted Williams.
Oh, great right hand right there. Another one.
And another! Freeman with a couple of big shots. This baby just became an even matchup, with Freeman gaining control.
Interesting to see William on the back. He's not that skilled in the guard. He's taking a lot of damage. He's not moving his hips around. He looks like he's got a pretty one-dimensional attack going.
And now the spirit may have been a bit broken.
Absolutely. Those were some hard shots to take right after that big flurry of wrestling. Right after that big takedown, the fence work and everything. Hard shots to take, especially right on the chin.
Ted Williams on the bottom now, married for many years, has 4 sons and 1 daughter. 3 of the boys are state champions in wrestling, so they're all in the mixed martial arts game.
Oh, there's a nice guard pass.
And Freeman is comfortable now. Another right, that one glances. And fatigue setting in as Williams trying to keep himself relaxed with the eyes closed.
Yeah, he's got his eyes closed, but at the same time, you close your eyes, your focus goes. So he's dipping into that. Man, I think he's getting a little tired out there.
This is going to be a long 60 seconds with Ian Freeman. And we pointed out that Ted Williams was really working on his feet at the beginning of this round, and could that take a physical toll on Ted Williams, as it could have done with Ian Freeman? It appears as if it has.
Yeah, it looks like he expended a lot of energy on it. He didn't really get what he wanted. He did a good bit of damage. Oh, great reversal there.
43 seconds now. And there's a knee to the head. Freeman in the
really
blue trunks.
now.
3 of them.
Good knee.
Williams needs to sustain for another 30 seconds and try to regroup for what could be a spectacular 3rd round, if it goes that far.
Well, Williams is all set up for an elevator here. He may get the turn, but with 20 seconds left, how much damage can he really do?
15 seconds.
Another hard shot, another hard left hand. Freeman's got really heavy hand, really sinking him in there.
And Williams showing great spirit, hanging in there.
Now the huge left hand.
Wow. Good round for Ian Freeman.
You see Williams slow to get up. He's really sucking wind out there. Here's the big right hand. Freeman just, oh, huge left there. Huge right there, right off the temple. And he finished up with this big flurry. He landed at least 3 or 4 hard right hands. I want you to job it right to the temple. Just zapped the strength right out of him. And once he gained control, he followed up with his knees. And I really feel like this was the big breakdown of Ted. You see him looking around like, oh, how do I get out of this?
Williams' only other time in the octagon KO'd Steve Judson in the 1st round. So quick work done. So this is the longest period of time that he has spent in the octagon.
You ready? Are you ready?
Ian Freeman, Ted Williams. Third and final 5-minute round.
Finish it off, gentlemen.
Freeman looks determined to finish this fight here. And Ian Freeman is trained with some of the best fighters in the world. Marco Huas, Enzo Gracie, Carly Gracie, Machado, Gomez, you name it. Freeman comes with great experience.
I think he's got the edge right here. He's got the eye. You can see Williams is taking a step backward. His legs are a little shaky. He's right on the edge.
Yeah. And Freeman takes the center of the ring, which a guy named Shamrock, Ken, told me was always one of his philosophies. Take the center right away.
Get out there and take control. Oh, big knee, big knee.
Ted Williams has lost his cardiovascular.
Yeah, he's done. He's hit the wall. He's hanging on right now. I don't see a lot of offense from him, but I think Freeman can open up on him and really do some damage right here. He's hanging on the leg. He's way too low. He's right down there where the knees are. Catch a couple of those, get a cut, take a good shot, and you're going down.
Now, first time we see Ian Freeman wanted to put the hands on the knee, so.
Oh, they're so tired. This is definitely going to come down to conditioning.
Yep.
Oh, big shot.
Freeman looking for the big shot. Williams just trying to hang on for dear life.
Oh, big knee there, too. Hanging on down there. Got Chuck Liddell. It's got a bunch of people. You hang on to the blades. You're right down by the knees. You take punishment.
Come on.
Ted Williams said, win or lose, he knew that Ian Freeman would fight the whole time. He looks like the kind of guy who you cannot break his spirit. Same seems to be said for Ted Williams, because he is definitely fatigued, but he continues to try to battle in this matchup.
Come on, Ian. Come on, Ian.
Use your elbow to push his head down.
Can you get the gas back at this point, though?
There's no way to get it back. You need 2 minutes of rest, and there's just no way you're going to get it, especially in this last bit of flurry. They're so tired right now. It's the first guy that gets a good shot in. It's the first guy that quits.
There you go.
Look how low Ted's head is. If Freeman's pushing it down, he's really in a vulnerable position. Freeman comes down with any shots, he's going to take him right out of the way.
Got to watch out for the knee.
And you see how he pushes his head in the center. As long as Williams' head is in the center, he can't drive through and get his hips. So it holds him in that position, and he's expending needless energy.
He's just holding on. Come on, he's falling. He's just holding on. He's stalling.
You hear the corner yelling, he's just holding on, he's just holding on. And Big John McCarthy, the best in the business at what he does, keeping them busy. And so now it goes down. Another right knee. And another.
Come on. There you go. Don't hang on. Come on, you gotta give me some punches, Ian. You gotta give me some punches.
2 minutes, 10 seconds remaining.
You're tired, but who wants it? Come on.
We should note the fighters tonight are wearing the National Boxergenics grappling glove, specifically designed for the UFC. Compete in a glove favored by grapplers and strikers. The Boxergenics grappling glove.
Come on, give me some more headshots. You drive his head through this fence right now.
The gloves are doing their job, because Ian is getting them in right now.
You got that right.
Give me a right hook, Ian. Give me a right hook there. Don't let him work out. Keep those hips. Keep him pressed against this fence. Boom.
I really feel like Ian here should just go to the wall and try and just crack him. Williams is just hanging on, trying to survive the round.
Use that J.
There are wins, and then there are wins in which the impression is everlasting, aren't there?
Absolutely.
You got a minute to get.
Oh, big left.
Huge shot. You could hear his teeth click from here.
Come on. It's a Freeman show. Let's go. Come on. You give me another shot. Keep control of his hips. We don't want him kicking out here. Drive him through this fence. Drive him through this fence. Do not let him get away from here. Boom. Come on, Ian. Come on, Ian. Come on.
Coach Corner's giving great advice. He's doing really settling down the last minute. Really trying to crush him in this last minute here.
Right now. Come on. Come on.
Working with Jason Godsey, managed by Phyllis Lee, Total Martial Arts Academy. Ian Freeman, his corner saying it's the Freeman show, and you know what? I agree.
Absolutely. He's really dominated this last round.
Got another 45 seconds. Come on, there you go.
Another huge left hand.
Don't let him out.
Ted Williams hanging in there, showing the heart of a lion.
Come on, there you go. There you go. Boom, boom. Give it to him.
And another. Delivers the right.
Huge hands right here.
Don't hang out. We don't want him to submission right now. Come on. Come on.
Make him.
You're doing fine.
30 seconds.
Another 30 seconds. Come on. You got to finish him in 30 seconds.
Ted knows that there's nothing he can do right now. The decision is clearly going to go Freeman's way. He's showing the pride of an ultimate fighter by hanging in till the very end. 15 seconds remains in this 5-minute round matchup.
You give me 10 seconds right now. Come on.
last 10 seconds. Here's where they go.
Good job.
Oh, forearms.
3, 2, 1. Come on.
Great job done by both competitors, Ian Freeman and Ted Williams. That man will go to 2-1.
Let's check out the replay. Coming through. He's bringing them knees up hard on the head.
Absolutely.
Really, once he had him down there, pushing that head down and just following with them solid knees. You see Williams changing position immediately. Then he followed up with them right hands. He brought him right. You see him strip out his hand, bring him right over the top, just clubbing right on the chin. Really hard shots to take with your head solid there. Then again, Ian just laying that heavy hand down. And again, a little short forearm. He blocked some of them, but well, some of the big shots got through. And I think that's what really took the wind out of Williams. Nice flurry there to finish.
Now, Ian Freeman, Frank, got into the fighting game. He got into martial arts from a boxing background. He'd been boxing for about a decade, and he showed some hand speed and the ability to throw a knockout punch here in this first heavyweight matchup of the evening. So Freeman and Williams go the distance. The judges have rendered their decision. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision for the winner from England, Ian the Machine Freeman. Let's have a big hand for Mr. Ted Williams.
So a unanimous decision goes the way of Ian Freeman, as he shakes him out and quiets him down, and frustrated in the first 5 minutes, but able to play his game in the second 10.
Absolutely, what a warrior. Come off the bottom, come out of being completely controlled, and to turn the whole fight around and just take it to him. Very impressive.
Conditioning never seemed to be a factor either, Frank. Coming up later tonight, the main event. The Beast is back. The most decorated champion in the history of the UFC, Dan the Beast Severn, is set to take on Pedro the Rock Rizzo, who has promised all of us that he will come out tonight and look for a definitive knockout early in the match against the Beast. A blast from the past. Dan the Beast Severn, first appearance in 3.5 years, set to take on one of the young guns in Pedro the Rock Rizzo. He is the ultimate champion. He defeated Frank Shamrock in a super fight. He's won tournaments. He's Dan the Beast Severn. He's backstage with James Wormy.
Thank you very much, Goldie. Pleased to be joined by UFC legend, mixed martial arts pioneer, Dan the Beast Severn. Dan, it's been 3.5 years since you've entered the octagon. How's it feel to be back in the UFC?
James, it's great to be back here in the UFC. It's where I started my career, and I hope to show the fans what kind of skills I've learned in my absence.
This guy's telling everybody looks more like 24. Dan, what is the secret to your conditioning and your success over the years?
Well, I think I found the fountain of youth here, James, and you know, yeah, I can't dispute I'm 42 years of age. I just want to show the people what a 42-year-old is capable of doing.
Dan the Beast Severn, just a few hours away from a big fight tonight, Pedro the Rock Rizzo. What goes through your head at this time? How are you going to approach Pedro tonight, Dan?
No, right now, I mean, I don't think it's going to be anyone's going to be guessing too much. I mean, Pedro's going to want to keep this match on his feet, going with his strengths, his kicks, his punches, and I want to try to utilize my skills. I want clinches, I want takedowns, and then I want to show the people the Beast.
Dan, you're fighting all over the place. Everyone who follows mixed martial arts knows that Dan's one of the most active and most successful fighters. Dan, how do you keep up with such a schedule?
Well, I don't get as much rest as I should, or I take 2 Geritol there, I think, to keep me going.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beast is back. Heavyweight main event tonight. Goldie, back to you.
Now, the Beast competed in his 4,000th match not long ago. The Beast taking on Rizzo later here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, SEG Sports is proud to announce that the UFC will be joining forces with the Trump Taj Mahal to host UFC 28 on November 17th, live from the beautiful and luxurious Trump Taj Mahal Casino Resort in Atlantic City, New Jersey. The main event will feature the biggest fight to hit the UFC in years. UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Kevin Randleman, to face undefeated former champ Randy Couture. Couture is ready to return to mixed martial arts and reclaim his belt. Randleman should have lots to say November 17th. It's Kevin Randleman against Randy Couture for the most prestigious title and mixed martial arts competition today. Live from the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City on November 17th. Tickets are on sale now. To get yours, call Ticketmaster, or you can get further information by calling directly to the Trump Taj Mahal. There are already people here getting goosebumps about that matchup. This one is also interesting on the card here tonight. Fight number 2. Yuki Kondo set to take on Alexandra Coffey Dantas. Dantas making his UFC debut, and so is Yuki Kondo. Now, Dantas is from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. He fights out of Rio de Janeiro. He is managed by Fabiano Iha and trained by Alacio Silva. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is his specialty, and he is a decorated Jiu-Jitsu champion, 99 world champion, 98 Pan American champion, 95, 96, 98 Brazilian champion, 4 times the Rio de Janeiro state champion. He also is 3-0 in mixed martial arts. One of the great matchups on the card tonight, with Dantas taking on Kondo, a matchup that on most fight cards could be the headliner. Tonight, it's just our second of many great ones as Dantas gets set to take on Japanese fighter Yuki Kondo. Japanese middleweight fighter Yuki Kondo is currently the #1 ranked pancrase contender in the world. Excellent at submissions, quick with kicks and punches. His resume in pancrase includes victories over Lions Den fighter Petey Williams. And perhaps his most impressive win in the pancrase format is against the most decorated middleweight UFC champion in the world, Frank Shamrock. Tonight, Yuki Kondo makes his UFC debut, looking for a little New Orleans history. Yuki Kondo set to enter the octagon for the first time in his fight life here this evening. He is the king of pancrase. There have been very impressive kings in the past. How about the 4th KOP, king of pancrase, sitting right next to me, Frank Shamrock. Yuki Kondo, though, winning the pancrase title, the 5th and 8th KOP. He's fought Shamrock. He's fought Guy Metzger. He's fought Jason DeLucia. He's fought Petey Williams. Tonight, he'll fight Dantas, and he brings in an impressive arsenal into the matchup here this evening.
Yeah, Kondo is an excellent submission guy and a very quick striker. He's very advanced, very experienced in pancrase. He's had a lot of very tough matches against a lot of quality opponents.
So the tail of the tape for Kondo and Dantas looks like this. One is 21 years old, the other 25. Kondo 5'11", Dantas 6'1". Not much will give. We'll find out who will claim victory here tonight in just a moment. Good middleweight matchup, as I said, 2 of the greatest today. The winner could be in line for Tito Ortiz in a shot at the middleweight belt. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a 3-round middleweight bout, beginning with the fighter standing to my left. He is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu expert with a mixed martial arts record of 3-0. He is the 1998 Pan Am and 1999 World Jiu-Jitsu champion. Standing 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 199 pounds. Coming to us from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Please welcome Alexandra Coffey Dantas. And his opponent. He is a submission expert and the #1 ranked pancrase fighter in the world. Standing 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 191 pounds. Fighting out of Tokyo, Japan. Please welcome, in his octagon debut, Yuki Kondo.
They love the fight game here in Cajun country. Another battle in the bayou. Big John McCarthy ready to get this middleweight fight underway.
Right, here we go, here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get it on.
21-year-old against 25-year-old.
Oh, came right out with the punch, too.
Brazil against Japan here in New Orleans, Louisiana. You have fought Kondo in a different discipline, but nonetheless, I know you were impressed with his skills. He defeated you.
Yeah, he's incredibly skilled as a wrestler, as a submission guy, and as a striker. He's an old-school karate guy who's turned it into some really effective combat. You see him here very relaxed, just chilling with his hips out. He's not going down easy.
He said he really appreciates the opportunity to compete in the American Premier Mixed Martial Arts event, that being the UFC. Ready to test his skills, face any and all skilled athletes in the world. He'd like as many American people as possible to watch this fight tonight. Believe me, not just the Americans, they're watching all around the world here this evening.
Kondo is a huge star in Japan. The things he's done as a young man are just phenomenal. Not only his victory over me, but his success at King of Pancras titles. He's got really quick knockouts. He's just spectacular as a fighter.
That does put you in the John Elway category in that country, doesn't it?
It sure does.
The Americans who have come in and won that title include the man sitting next to me, Frank Shamrock, but when one of their own holds that title, it's something very special to the Japanese. And Kondo trying to get the early advantage here against the Brazilian
Great
Dantas.
reversal. Dantas really skilled in grappling.
Fabiano Iha talking about the nickname Coffee. In Brazil, when you start in an academy, all the easy guys, the guys everybody beats easy, they call them Milky Coffee. When you start beating everyone else, then they call you Coffee. That's how he got his nickname, because he started to beat everyone. Maybe he'll be a bit like Cappuccino here tonight.
Maybe a double.
A double espresso. Brazilian style.
See Dantas working good control, basic control. He's a real jiu-jitsu guy. This guy is a real deal. He's just going to try and creep up on him and try and unload on something. There he goes in the full mount. This is a great advance for him. If he gets a good clean shots on these, he may be able to do some damage to Kondo early. Might change the pace of the fight. Yeah, he's got teed off there.
So Kondo on the bottom now. He is 4-0 in close fist fights. And Dantas has a mixed martial arts record of 3-0. All the matches taking place in Brazil, all he has been victorious by submission.
And I believe his favorite hold is arm locks. I think he's really good at it.
Come on.
Loves the arm lock.
He's in a great position of control here. You see Kondo turning his back. Might not be a good idea this early in the fight.
Good work, good job.
Dantas great control.
Yeah.
Just 100% control right here. Only looking to punch, to get him to turn, to try and do his holds.
Full mount.
He's working an arm lock there, a little crooked arm. He doesn't have the proper position for it, but he might be able to make him move with it and follow up with another submission hold, possibly those arm locks he likes.
Oh, there's a couple of
Good shots.
Good punches. And Kondo is in trouble. He is teeing off. Dantas is teeing off on Yuki Kondo. Continuing a flurry. Now he's got to watch the leg, though. Kondo took some punishment. Good action here as the crowd reacts.
He took some shots there, but he got out, and he blocked a lot of those with his forearms. Great change of action there. He's going to see what happens in this fight.
A key victory scored recently by Kondo in the Abu Dhabi Grappling Championships against multi-time World Jiu-Jitsu champion Ribeiro in 22 seconds at the Coliseum 2000 show in Japan. So, I mean, Kondo's on a roll. And as I said, one of these two men setting themselves up for a possible title shot against our present middleweight champion, Tito Ortiz, the Huntington Beach bad boy.
Oh, nice shot right
Kondo
there.
now answering.
Good left hand.
2 left by Kondo.
You see him sitting back. He's refusing to play this guard game. He wants to bang.
4 lefts by Kondo. They're coming in pairs, Frank.
Oh.
20 seconds left in. And
now this is where it gets busy.
Round.
I don't think Dantas has the striking ability to stay up with him.
If the first round is any indication,
oh, nice knee at the finish.
This one may not go the distance. How good was that?
What a great way to finish a round, to land a solid hold like that.
Outstanding first 5 minutes.
Let's check out the replays. Great position of control, and he just teed off on his head. Did some good damage here, but you see he crept up a little high on him. That's pretty much where the reversal came in. He got a little high. Kondo shifted himself out the back. He got himself in a nice power spot. There he goes. Then you see him, he refuses to play the guard game. He just sat back and banged with him. Beautiful left hand. He got a couple of those nice, strong left hands in. I think it really weakened Dantas. Then when he's fighting his way up here, huge knee. Just terrible to take that shot and then walk back to your corner.
During that victory in Abu Dhabi that I mentioned earlier, Kondo caught his opponent with a kick to the head, followed up with 2 knees, and then a barrage of punches. That's almost what we saw at the end of round number 1. There's a kick that lands. Now you think Kondo's too good of a striker for Dantas to be on the feet with.
Absolutely, and he's warmed up now. He's got the juices flowing. He's a little sweaty. He's going to be harder to grab onto. And when he starts teeing off, I think we're going to see some great shots landed.
It was actually in Japan, Ultimate Japan, December of '97, that you debuted in the octagon, coming out of the shadows of older brother Ken. How difficult is it early in the matchup, your first time inside these gates, because it is certainly a different arena. It's playing in the Super Bowl.
It is. It's huge, and there's all these other factors: the audience, the crowd, the cameras, your family, your friends. You know, everything is times 10. I always go back to this times 10, but it really is. There's that much stress. There's that much other things going on, distractions. It's just a huge amount of stress to get in there.
As you just said, the reason I asked that question, Yuki Kondo now looks comfortable. He looks warmed up.
Yeah, he's okay. He's in the game. He got a couple good shots off. I think he knows what he needs to do to win this fight.
At a certain point, it does just become a fight. It becomes the game in which these guys are most familiar with, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and that's all it really is. It's just a really complicated game with high risks. He's got the mounted game. He's got a great position. Let's see if he can capitalize like he did last time.
Now, both guys showing an impressive array of skill so far. Alexandre Cafe Dantas from Brazil, Yuki Kondo, a middleweight, 25 years old. One of the most popular fighters in his home country of Japan today.
Kondo's a great evolution of martial arts. He went from he went from karate to pancrase to freestyle fighting, and now he's in the ultimate, really putting it on the line. About the biggest arena you can get, bar none.
But yet Dantas,
oh, great reversing. He's going for the armbar.
Looking to finish it with a submission.
He's going for the armbar. Dantas gets that leg around and he's done.
He loves to finish with an arm lock.
He just needs that left leg around his head and he'll finish this one.
Kondo knows it too. He knows it. What's the key here, Frank? Stay relaxed?
Yeah, stay relaxed. He's got to get his elbow out. He's got to keep that leg from really coming over and taking control of his head. That leg going around is it's a bad deal. And you see every time it comes up, he rips his head out.
He got out of it.
Beautiful. Nice technique, good counter, and that was a lot of energy for Dantas to expend.
Dantas with a shot. A position we don't quite often see in the UFC here. In a closed guard, but with room to try to work, and Kondo looking to take advantage of it. So close to a submission was Dantas a moment ago.
Yeah, he went for his hold, and that was really close. That was one of them touch-and-go holds. But you see Kondo real sharp with submission holds. He didn't play that much with it. He just did the basic block and went right back to punching.
Now, with opened hand strikes in pancrase, submissions are extremely prevalent in his game.
Absolutely. I think he hurt him with that right hand, you know, the top there. Yeah, absolutely. When you have that open hand, you don't have the same power. You don't have the same distance. Everything is, you know, you just can't turn that fist over and generate all your body. Oh, huge left hand over the top there.
Kondo again with
Huge
the
left hand.
I count 6 that look almost identical. Left hands.
Right on the chin.
Yep.
Great accuracy.
So Dantas looks good. Kondo.
Oh, here we
back
go.
on his feet.
He's got him up. Here we go.
And this is where Yuki Kondo wants this fight to take place.
Here you go. Oh, you see Dantas trying to take a breath.
Yep.
Oh, he's in trouble.
Kondo's knows. Kondo's
Oh,
knows.
he knows.
Yeah.
Oh, he knows.
Kondo closes the gap right away. Doesn't want Dantas to regather himself.
Kondo's got great combination. He gets everybody with that third or fourth punch.
Oh, just missed with the right, and that was near the chin. Dantas takes him down hard. Dantas avoids it again. It's a very busy matchup.
It's a great match. The up and down action is really nice.
No kicking on the ground. Let's go. Work.
John McCarthy, the best in the business. He is
Right
all
on
over
him,
it.
too.
Yeah.
Right on him.
All over it. Definitive statements. I mean, these guys get a little fatigued. They don't hear everything the way that it comes out sometimes. You know much better than I, Frank. But John's sharp. He's in command. He has great presence inside the octagon. The best in the business.
Kondo's really working from the bottom here. You see, he's really trying to work his way out. Dantas just kind of hanging on. I think he's waiting for the round to end, trying to catch his breath.
10 quality minutes so far. Dantas impressive early. Kondo taking control late again.
Acabou o espaço, Café. Não pode dar espaço, Café. Café, não pode dar espaço. Ó, não anda pra trás que a luta tá na tua mão. Tu vai ganhar. Mesmo por pouco, tu vai ganhar.
Oh, here's a replay with that huge left hand just coming right over the top, right on the button. Got 2 solid ones in right there. And then his counter, the takedown, and pushing that head down, pushing that head down. Dantas, once he got him up, Kondo just kind of sat down and went with it. He was going down.
Alexandre promised tonight, everybody's going to see my best performance. I'm going to do my best to win. He'll try to take it to Yuki Kondo here in the 3rd and final round.
You ready? Let's get it on.
Here we go. 5 minutes left on the clock. Kondo takes the center of the octagon again.
See, Kondo switched his stance. Oh, got him right in the face with that kick.
Yep. Quick snap kick. Dantas now ties him up.
Yeah, there go the fence. Yep.
Dantas, what a great grappler, though. Just been able to totally neutralize all the positions. He's got the mount a few times, went for a submission hold. He's a very skilled grappler.
Grapplers in Brazil are like baseball players in Venezuela.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
They're on every street corner.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Kondo taking charge now. He's really pushing the fight. Gonna come in with some of them condos. Oh, huge
Big right! And Dantas is in trouble. Kondo now a left and another right. Kondo trying to finish off Dantas.
Oh, another right hand.
That one right in front of our broadcast position.
He really stung him with that, and you could hear it just sat him down on his heels.
The heart of a lion again, displayed by Dantas. And another
Big
right.
shot. Oh, it's right in front of us.
Just glances off the forehead. Now the left
hand,
and
left
another.
Really doing damage with those shots.
Combinations now. And Dantas holding on. McCarthy right there, watching diligently.
Dantas is really out of his game now. His guard's all messed up. It's all open and hanging. He's just trying to hang on. Yeah.
No indication by Dante, though, that he wanted it to be finished. Kondo wants to finish it here. 3 minutes.
Oh,
and there's another right shot.
Kondo needs to keep him up. He wants to finish this the way it should be done. Yeah.
Yeah, he wants the knockout.
He
wants the knockout.
Dante's looking at time. He just asked his corner what time it was.
He's
Look at
looking
him.
again.
He's ready to get out of this one.
Backing off. Kondo tried to go high.
Nice kick.
Oh, and
He's getting fancy now. Oh, big knee.
it's a knee.
Huge knee.
The knee was big.
Oh, big right hand.
And the fight is over. The fight is over. Yuki Kondo wins.
No, you're not. No, you're not. It's okay. I know. Stay right there. You're fine. You're tired. You did a great job. Stay right there. Stay right there. I know you're okay.
Referee stoppage. Yuki Kondo. What a UFC debut.
Let's watch the replay. He comes up with that huge right hand right on the button. That was the one right in front of us. And that really was pretty much the end of the fight. And they got that big flurry going. He just landed a bunch of those right on the chin. And the follow-up here, he's got control. You see Dantas just taking shots. He's got no defense against it. His guard's all jacked up. He's just taking solid shots. He wanted out of that one. And at the end here, after that big knee and the big right hand, he was dying. He was pretty much over.
Now, former middleweight champion Frank Shamrock sitting next to me, and maybe a middleweight champion of tomorrow. Tito Ortiz would like to have something to say about that, of course, but Yuki Kondo stepping up the UFC ladder tonight. A wonderful debut. Here's the official decision from Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner at 2 minutes, 28 seconds of the third round, Yuki Kondo.
What we thought we would see from Yuki Kondo, we saw here this evening. Impressive in his UFC debut. So Yuki Kondo will fight another day in the UFC, and you can fight in the UFC also. And here is how. The UFC video game on Dreamcast has been out for 2 weeks, and the reviews are in. UFC is an ultra-realistic, full-contact fighting game.
Are you ready? Let's get it on.
Gaming Age says a definite must-buy for any fighting or wrestling game fan. And GamePro Online says UFC is absolutely the best fighting wrestling game yet. UFC takes the title as one of the best games to come out this year, says IGN. The realism, the graphics, the fighters, Tito Ortiz, Tsuyoshi Kusaka, it's absolutely tremendous. All guns are-blazing on the video game like in real life with the reigning middleweight champion Tito Ortiz. 3,000 moves, 1,200 combos, 34 fight styles. In just 4 days, this video game went to #1. Get yours today, and you too can get it on. Out on Dreamcast right now, many more formats available soon from our friends at Crave Entertainment. The Ultimate Fighting Championship in just a couple of days went right to the top of the video game bestseller list. Tito Ortiz showcased a moment ago. He's backstage with James Wormy.
Thank you very much, Goldie. Joined by the cover boy for that very game. It's Tito Ortiz, our middleweight champion of the world. Tito, many of us know that you were originally scheduled to headline tonight's fight. We are sorry to say you are not, but we are happy to announce that you have signed a long-term deal with SEG Sports that's going to keep you in the Ultimate Fighting Championship for a long time.
Yeah, that'll be great. It's going to be good for myself, so I can go out and show everybody what I do best. It's kick ass.
What you do best is kick ass. And Tito is set to defend his middleweight championship when the UFC returns to Tokyo, Japan in December. Tito, what will it be like to return to the place where you finally got that belt?
Well, it's going to be just like it was the first time. I'm going to get another belt. Yuki looked tough tonight, but not for Tito Ortiz.
Tito mentions Yuki Kondo looked very strong in his UFC debut. What would it be like to fight Yuki Kondo in his hometown of Japan?
It'll be, I mean, biggest pleasure for myself, just to fight him in his own town, own country at that. But like you see there, it ain't gonna happen again.
As you see, the strong takedowns of Tito Ortiz, a very, very capable middleweight champ. Tito, we know you had, you're a newlywed. We want to congratulate you on that. We understand there was a mishap on your honeymoon. Why don't you tell the fans a little bit about that?
Actually, it was our first day of our honeymoon, and me and my wife, we rented a moped, and they drive on the opposite side of the roads there, and I wasn't really used to that. I mean, looking here in the United States, I'm looking left to right. There you gotta look right to left, so it's a lot different. And I went to go pull to a stop sign. I came to the stop sign and I pulled up and the car stopped and I thought it was my way to go. Well, I didn't look to my right. When before I could look to my right, a bus was there and hit me and my wife.
Well, we are happy to report that both Tito and his wife Kristen are doing fine. We're going to see this guy back in the octagon in December. Goldie, back to you.
Thank you very much, James. Thank you, our middleweight champion, Tito Ortiz. Laverne Clark, Fabiano Iha set for a lightweight matchup here. Fight number 3 of the evening. Had a great heavyweight show, great middleweight show. How about some lightweights here tonight? Lightweight Fabiano Iha comes to UFC 27 to settle a debt and find his first victory in the octagon. It was back at UFC 20 where Iha first met Laverne Clark. Clark wanted to swing and caught the jiu-jitsu specialist with the flurry, opening up a cut before the two went to the ground. Once there, Iha took over and seemed to have the ankle lock in place, but the referee broke the two fighters to examine the cut. The gash was too big, and the fight had to be stopped. Laverne Clark was the winner, and Fabiano Iha was left to wonder what could have been. Tonight, he gets his shot at redemption. With his victory in the alternate fight at UFC 16, Laverne, Fists of Fury Clark, became the first pure boxer to win in UFC competition. He returned at UFC 18 and again took the alternate bout victory to bring his UFC record to a perfect 2-0. At UFC 20, Clark finally jumped into the main draw, taking on Brazilian Fabiano Iha. As has been documented, the controversial decision went the way of Clark. It was almost 1 year later that Laverne Clark returned to the octagon at UFC 25 in Tokyo, Japan. It was Laverne's first fight outside the United States, and the lightweight seemed a bit off balance as he took on shoot fighter Koji Oishi. Nonetheless, Laverne controlled throughout and was awarded the unanimous decision victory. A perfect 4-0 in the octagon. He returns tonight to erase any doubts of his undefeated record. He is undefeated. The only other active fighter that is undefeated right now in the UFC, his trainer, lightweight champion Pat Miletich. So Laverne Clark at 4-0 is set to take on Fabiano Iha again. Iha's young man Dantas just defeated. He's looking for a split. He's out of Santa Catarina, Brazil, now fighting out of Huntington Beach, California. Jiu-Jitsu, Vale Tudo, managed by Phyllis Lee, groundwork submissions. And as Dantas does, this man likes to use the armbar as part of his arsenal.
Yeah, Iha's strengths, he's got great submissions, he's worked on his stand-up, he's got excellent cardiovascular training. It's gonna be a great head match.
We saw that highlight a moment ago when he really got himself in trouble. Great smile on the face of Fabiano Iha was when he slipped. He was making a move, he slipped, and the minute that he slipped, the Fists of Fury were delivered from the young man born in and fighting out of Davenport, Iowa. 26-year-old Laverne Clark. We call him a pure boxer, and yes, boxing is his dominant skill, but keep one thing in mind. He wrestled from the age of 9 all the way through high school, so it's not as if he is only a boxer, but he is a boxer who won titles starting at 17 years old. Amateur boxing record of 62-6, won the Golden Gloves, and loves to try to get the knockout.
Yeah, he's got great boxing technique. He's got a lot of power. Like you said, he's got wrestling ability, and he's really cagey in the ring.
And he has a rematch here tonight, Frank, as Laverne Clark gets set to take on Fabiano Iha. Iha is 4 years older out of the Militich Fighting Academy. The Militich fighting system against the jiu-jitsu specialist, 26-year-old Clark against 30-year-old Iha. Now in this particular situation, 3 inches can make a huge difference because Clark likes to throw them. He has the reach over the smaller Fabiano Iha. Let's get the official introductions for this, our first lightweight fight of the night. Here's the veteran voice, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next fight is a lightweight 3-round fight, beginning with the fighter standing to my left. He is a jiu-jitsu fighter and Vale Tudo expert with a mixed martial arts record of 9-3. He is a veteran of UFC 20 and UFC 24. Standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 169 pounds. He comes to us from Santa Catarina, Brazil, and is fighting out of Huntington Beach, California. Welcome back, Fabiano Iha! And his opponent standing to my right. He is a Militich Fighting Systems team member with a UFC record of 4-0 and a mixed martial arts record of 15-4. Standing 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 169 pounds. Fighting out of Davenport, Iowa. Please welcome Laverne Fists of Fury Clark.
Works out a lot with Alvino Pena with his boxing skills. Fists of Fury with 4 young children, and Fabiano Iha, his wife Alexandra watching tonight. His 5-year-old daughter is back at home. Big John McCarthy out, Mario Yamasaki in, and let's go! Here go the lightweights. Iha thought he had a submission in the first sight. He said he wished he had 15 seconds more. He had the submission, then he took the punishment, was bleeding badly, and the fight was stopped.
He was so close to that hold, too. It's really a shame to get cut like that in the fight, but now we get to see the rematch.
You love rematches.
I love
the storyline.
Oh, you got to have the story, and you got to have the heat. I see Clark, he's settling down. He's rocking up. He's going to throw some bombs on this one. Look at that, right with a body shot. He's really going to dial them hands in, I think, for this number. Oh.
Iha. Now remember, there
great
are
position and armbar right away. Look at that.
Looking for it. Can he get the tap?
Oh, my.
Oh, my goodness.
He's got his arm almost there. Laverne Clark's got a lot of weight on it. You see him crunching that body of Iha up. He needs to get that elbow out. He needs to keep the weight on him. String that elbow out. It's pretty straight.
Now he's got the left foot. He's got the left leg around the neck.
Oh,
the whole body extended on one limb. And Clark won't tap. It's over.
Wow.
It's over.
Wow.
Fabiano Iha with a quick submission of Laverne Clark.
Very technical victory on that. He went for the bridge. He made the pass all the way around and went right for the hole. He sunk him right into it.
Yamasaki and McCarthy know that at a certain point on a submission, you do not let the limb give. Laverne did not want to tap for a long time. Iha was in control. Fabiano Iha gets his revenge.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner in the very first round. A winner by tap out doing an arm bar. For the winner, Fabiano Iha.
Now that was impressive. Iha victorious over Clark. He is no longer undefeated.
He came out with that kick. Laverne loaded up with that right hand. That put him in jeopardy. You see Iha picking the heel. Then when he went for this bridge, Iha went with the energy of it. Passed all the way around. You see Clark keeps bridging. He stepped right over and set himself up for that. And he had trouble getting it, but he just hung tight the whole time. See, he's got that arm, heels down, feet together. He's got total control of that arm. He had no choice but to stop that after a while. He had him completely sunk.
Now, Frank, you had mentioned earlier in a submission attempt that if the left leg could get around the neck, then you apply more pressure with the leverage. The left leg was around the neck of Clark from minute number 1.
Yeah, he had him tight. He had him overpowered, feet together, knees together. he physically overpowered that arm, and Laverne just wasn't going to get out. He was in jeopardy, and it was a good, clean stoppage.
Laverne tried to fight it, but he's working against all the leverage and all the body control. I mean, he's got him fully lifted up.
You see him lifting all the body weight against his own straight arm. He's done there.
Yep, and there it was.
And a great stoppage by Mario. It was a great stoppage.
Yep, and a verbal tap by Laverne. You could see it that time on the replay. And Fabiano Iha with a bit of redemption and a lap in victory. And he has defeated Laverne Clark, the first UFC fighter to ever win against Laverne Clark in the octagon. Fabiano Iha by submission. Loves the armbar, uses it to gain his first UFC win. Two went long, one went quick. On a hot night here in beautiful New Orleans, Louisiana. This is our most popular destination. We love what we can do before and after the fight, but we love what the fighters bring to the ring. It's a jazzy night of hot food and hot fun down on Bourbon Street. And right here at the Lakefront Arena, we have that man, Pedro the Rock Rizzo, set for a bit of his own redemption to take on Dan the Beast Severn later tonight right here at the Lakefront Arena. Let's go backstage. Here's James Wormy.
Goldie, back here in Pedro Rizzo's dressing room, as you may or may not be able to hear, Pedro's beating the shit out of some bags over here. I'll tell you, he talked to me after his fight last time, was very, very disappointed. Barely has any memory of him in the fight after the Kevin Rambleman headbutt. He's out to prove something tonight. The first thing he said to me when he got off the plane was, James, I'm going to knock somebody out on Friday night. And I tell you what, Dan the Beast Severn, take a good look at Pedro Rizzo. He's a professional kickboxer, professional boxer, professional Muay Thai expert. I'll tell you what, he's on a mission tonight. Goldie, back to you.
Absolutely great stuff, and we thank Marco Huas and Pedro the Rock Rizzo for access into the locker room, for total access to the world of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, your website of choice, www.seg.com, for the best in internet talk radio, including Eddie Goldman and his No Holds Barred show every day, weekdays in the afternoon. Dial it up on the web, www.iata.com. Pedro the Rock Rizzo. Dan the Beast Severn. The Beast is back. The Rock wants the Beast's return to the octagon to beat short-lived. That is later tonight. This a matchup, Frank, that we talked about at the beginning of the night. You want to talk about depth in a division. How about in the middleweight division? We saw Kondo win. Jackson and Horn will go very soon. When we first met Jeremy Horn, the thin 23-year-old was taking on Frank Shamrock for the UFC middleweight title. Since then, not only has this young man matured in the UFC, but seems to have gotten bigger and stronger each time he enters the octagon. After a disappointing loss at Ultimate Brazil, Horn rebounded with an impressive victory by choke over Chuck Liddell. At UFC 21, Horn outsized and outfought opponent Deju Takasi, winning via referee stoppage while in the mount position. He returned at UFC 22 and again impressed the UFC crowd. This time, his ground skills took center stage again as he caught jiu-jitsu expert Jason Godzi and a quick armbar for the tap-out victory. One of the most experienced and active fighters in the mixed martial arts world today, Jeremy Horn faces perhaps his most challenging opponent yet as he returns to the octagon tonight. Middleweight Eugene Jackson has been a one-man wrecking crew since he entered the octagon in July of 1999. At UFC 21, he took on local wrestling legend Royce Alger. Jackson showed excellent countering skills against the All-American, and even when he found himself taken down, remained poised and in control. With his opponent running out of gas, Eugene was able to score with a flurry of strikes that ended with a huge left-hand knockout. Jackson would return at UFC 23 in Tokyo. Taking on Pancrase fighter Ki Yamamiya, Jackson again approached the fight patiently, scoring with occasional flurries and keeping the action standing up. In the third round, as he had done before, the power puncher lured his opponent in, then scored with that quick left hook. Yamamiya was out, And Eugene Jackson was a perfect 2-0 in the octagon with 2 knockouts to his credit. He returned to Tokyo at UFC 25 to take on yet another pain-crazed fighter, Sine Kikuto. Jackson had been bothered by the flu leading up to the fight and didn't quite seem himself, falling into a vulnerable position quickly in the first round. From there, Kikuto went to work and eventually locked in the armbar to secure the tap-out victory. Eugene Jackson returns tonight to try to chalk up another knockout and return to his winning ways. Now, don't forget the fighters tonight are wearing the original Boxergenics grappling glove specifically designed for the UFC. Compete in a glove favored by grapplers and strikers. The original Boxergenics grappling glove. There is Jeremy Horn, a very good grappler. Birthplace Omaha, Nebraska, fighting out of Cedar Rapids, part of the Miletich Fighting Systems team. He weighed in fully clothed. Pardon me, Jeremy Horn weighed in and just made weight under 199. Jackson weighed in fully clothed. So you can imagine one thing. Jeremy Horn is probably at about 210 right now, although this is a middleweight fight. And keep in mind that when he last fought Jason Godzi, he did fight as a heavyweight. So Jeremy Horn back to the middleweight division, and his reward for doing so, he gets to take on Eugene Jackson. From East Palo Alto, California, fighting out of East Palo Alto, California. His nickname is the Wolf. He has incredible physical strength, punching power, and I think that he is relishing this underdog role that he sees himself in tonight, Frank.
He is the underdog, but he's a great puncher. He's a great takedown artist. He's really hard to take down himself, and he's worked really hard on his submission skills.
Eugene Jackson set to take on Jeremy Horn, freestyle man against a Miletich fighter, 33 years old, 25 years old, so 8 years differ. Jackson is smaller, and Jackson does weigh less as we get set for this middleweight matchup. For the official introductions, the veteran voice of the Octagon, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a highly anticipated and much looked forward to 3-round middleweight bout, beginning with the fighter standing to my left. He is a Miletich Fighting Systems team member with a mixed martial arts record of 38, 5, and 4. Standing 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 199 pounds. Fighting out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, please welcome back Jeremy Horn. And his opponent standing to my right. He is a freestyle fighter with a mixed martial arts record of 10 and 3 and a UFC record of 2 and 1. All his victories by way of knockout. Standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 199 pounds. Fighting out of East Palo Alto, California, please welcome the Wolf, Eugene Jackson. And our referee for this bout is Mr. Mario Yamasaki.
Jeremy Horn, full-time fighter against Eugene Jackson, part-time fighter. More on that storyline as we continue.
Are you ready? Let's go!
Mario Yamasaki gets this middleweight fight underway. Great depth in the middleweight division. Kondo a winner. He could see Tito Ortiz in the future. These two young men, both contenders in that middleweight division.
I see where Jeremy's looking. He's watching the hips and he's watching the feet. He's going to come out kicking. You don't want to bang with Jackson.
Well, Jackson coming off a loss to Kikuta. That happened at UFC 25, UFC J3 in Japan. He was not feeling well that night. Came in with a bout of the flu, the jet lag. It's hard to fight over there, as you well know, Frank. And Jeremy Horn, always impressive. And he got his start against Frank Shamrock, and he showed some skills that you weren't so sure he possessed in that matchup.
No, he came out as a total sleeper and took me completely by surprise, as he took everyone by surprise. He doesn't look at his physique, he doesn't look menacing, but he's got skills and he's got tons of experience.
And his physique is 10 times more impressive than it was when at 23 years old he took you on 2 years ago.
Absolutely, his nickname is Gumby. He just gets out there and just flows and moves.
Bad when you go home after Gumby kicks your butt.
Yeah. What do you do then?
Exactly. I got in a fight at school today. Who kicked my butt? Gumby did.
Gumby took me out.
That's right. And we say that with respect to Jeremy, of course. Well, you can say it without respect. I'm going to say it with respect. You can get away with it.
See, Horn, very patient,
Yeah.
good position, great control. Very patient fighter. I think that's been his key to success. He's so patient. He's always there. He's always fighting.
Frank, Jeremy's motioned over more than once already to his corner, and in his corner, our lightweight champion, one of the best trainers in the world, Pat Miletich. And we'll keep an eye on that, and you can help us kind of re-deliver the messages that you imagine that Pat's giving to Jeremy, because it's pretty common the things that are said by you and by Pat working in the corners of a respective fighter.
Yeah, fighting is fighting. It's all pretty much the same stuff. I think Jeremy's just checking in with time. I think he has the cardio game plan now as well. He wants to finish the round strong. He wants to pick it up in the middle. He wants to play each round like it's its own fight. And as well, look for a finish all the time.
Now, Horn knows that Eugene Jackson has really good balance, likes to punch. But the thing that Jeremy Horn wants to do is put him on his back. He feels he can take care of him. If he puts Eugene Jackson on his back, that is where the fight is taking place right now.
And I think that's a correct assumption there. If this is his weak spot, being on his back is a wrestler's weak spot. They're not comfortable there. It takes them extra energy to do it.
There you go.
There's Pat Miletich. Congratulations to Pat. Newly married a week ago, going to Bora Bora on his honeymoon in about a week. So I guess part of his honeymoon includes a trip to New Orleans for a UFC.
Try walking your foot up.
And Pat's giving great advice. Real patient.
Horn looking to tee off, looking to get that right hand loose. Now he spins it.
Excellent guard pass there.
Yeah.
Dropped his knee, passed right through. And I feel this is a very dominant position for him right here, especially with his style of jiu-jitsu.
We have to remember the basis in which each fighter is built, because the Miletich fighting system is built on diversity, but still, if you are first a wrestler, you will always be a wrestler. First a boxer, always a boxer, a jiu-jitsu specialist, and so on. That base is always going to be your foundation, isn't it?
Absolutely. Fighting is fighting is fighting. It's all you need. You got to punch, you got to kick, you got to knee, and you got to learn how to grapple and do holds. Whatever discipline you subscribe to, it needs elements from all those same things. But they always say fighting is fighting is fighting. Once you get in there and it gets going, it's all the same stuff.
Now Jackson knows that Jeremy Horn can be very, very crafty. He's always in the fight, always well conditioned, and really has never shown any fear. Jackson's classy competitor said he sees nothing negative about Jeremy Horn, and there's been nothing negative about his performance so far here in round number 1.
And Jackson's a real warrior. He gets out there every time. Sick, whatever, he puts it on the line.
Now I talked about Eugene Jackson during one of our preliminary fights here tonight before we hit the live show involving Tim Lasik, and he and Lasik are just students of the game. I mean, they just absolutely love the Ultimate Fighting Championship. And the
great armbar attempts. Really staying on it too.
Trying to close it off. Trying to close it off, and he does.
Nice hold.
Jeremy Horn wins by submission. That was impressive.
That was really impressive.
Jackson has said in those conversations with Lasik, it is such a chess match in this day and age. One mistake and you're done. One mistake and Jeremy Horn is over. Eugene give him a little jab and a big smile on his face. Great job done by Horn to finish.
Let's look at the replay. He got his knee up on his chest, and he was really controlling him here. And then when Jackson pushed his arm up to keep him away, he threw and went right into it. Then you see him, he didn't fall to his back. He kept rolling the whole time, looking for that arm bar until he finally set it. And when he was here, that arm straight, he's done.
So Jeremy Horn ups his UFC record to 4-2.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner by tap out at 4 minutes 33 seconds of the very first round. For the winner, Jeremy Horn.
So 2 very impressive submissions in our last 2 fights.
And both finished with the armbar, and especially very active arm bars. They weren't passive. You see him here, he's got a strong position of control, the knee on the stomach. He's throwing some short shots, and then right there, he throws that leg over and goes for it. Like we talked about before, once that leg gets over and you get control of that arm, get the head, get the arm, he's done from there. Kept with it, rolled all the way through. Jackson, good attempt at getting out of it. But he was done. Once he had him on his back, he was done.
So Jeremy Horn continues to up his stock, fighting once again as a middleweight. Jeremy Horn wins by submission in the first round against Eugene Jackson. So the first 2 fights of the night go the distance, and the last 2 have been short-lived thanks to the prominence of the armbar and the arm lock here at UFC 27 from the Lakefront Arena in New Orleans, Louisiana. Once again, I'd like to pay compliments to Frank Shamrock in the job that he has done here sitting next to me so far this evening. Frank Shamrock working the booth and James Wormy working the back room, and he has our victor, Jeremy Horn.
Thank you very much, Goldie. Joined by a victorious Jeremy Horn. Jeremy, looked pretty good out there. How'd it feel?
Good. Felt good to be back.
Jeremy, you're one of the most active fighters out there. How do you keep the kind of tough schedule going day in, day out, fighting for a living?
I train at the best camp in the world. You know, an easy day there is the hardest day at any other gym in the world.
Talk about what goes on there in Iowa. You got the Hughes brothers, of course, Pat Miletich, Severn. I mean, just strong talent top to bottom.
You know, all those guys are at the top, and they drive you hard, but more than that, it's the guys that nobody knows about that drive us more than anybody. You know, there's tons of guys that nobody's heard of yet because they haven't fought yet, but those are the guys that drive me to stay ahead because they're always nipping at my heels.
Talk about getting better and talk about mixed martial arts as a science. It seems like you've established yourself as a real ground specialist.
Yeah, that was just my base. You know, I really had no foundation in striking at all, so it was comfortable to fight on the ground because I wasn't getting hit. So I'm kind of lagging behind in my stand-up, so I'm trying to catch up there, but, you know, I still want to be on the ground because I'm not getting hit that way.
Well, Pat, I tell you, I rode to the building the other day with Pat Miletich. He thinks you're one of the best grapplers in the world. Says your stand-up's coming along just fine, too. Talk about your relationship with Pat, and, you know, he's our lightweight champ, and how is that for you?
You know, training with Pat, he's one of the most motivational guys there is, you know. He can push anybody to do things that they don't think they can do.
We're taking a look at the armbar right here, Jeremy. Take us through what exactly happened.
I don't really know, actually. He stuck the arm up and I rolled for it, and he almost got out. He got my leg off his head, and as he rolled, you know, so you can see he's trying to flip over and come out of it. He just lost his balance, which happens there, you know. If he had gotten over and stayed square, he probably would have gotten out, but as it is, he lost his balance, so he got caught.
I'll tell you what, Jeremy Horn looking pretty tough. Another victory in the octagon. Goldie, back to you.
Well, Worm, thank you very much. Joined now by our matchmaker, John Peretti. JP, great job done again tonight. I mean, this show has been dynamite.
Great. Now, I had to put these headgear on, you know, for Frank's big head, you know, my pinhead. So I'm just getting used to that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's always fun when John Peretti joins us, and Kondo was a big name coming from Japan, and man, did he look good.
Oh, he's just great. He's a superhero. But you know, you gotta thank Cafe, because Cafe, he really helped us out. You know, he came in here off a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu championship, and he was ready. You could see how ready he was. Kondo has the combination of, you know, all the techniques that he needs to move on.
Well, as he moves on, he could face Tito Ortiz in December. How good would it be with Tito Ortiz taking on Kondo?
Well, Tito's a bigger man. He's probably as good a boxer as Kondo, but Kondo brings other things to it. The thing that I didn't like about Kondo tonight was his use of legs, like, and in a futile way at the end, you know, which really made him look like he'd lost concentration.
It's interesting, Frank Shamrock, who's done a great job sitting next to me tonight, and once again he is here because Jeff Blatnick is working the Olympics, the wrestling, for NBC in Sydney. So Jeff, have a great show, have a great week. We'll see you next time. But he said too, he got a little cute there, and we did not like to see that. John Peretti agrees.
Yeah.
Right now, John, let's take a second, go backstage again to James Wormy. He has a former heavyweight champion with him, Mark the Hammer Coleman. James.
Well, the Hammer House has been real strong as of late. Mark's having a lot of success overseas, and of course Kevin is just rocking through the competition here in the U.S. Mark, talk about the Hammer House and why the success.
Well, I think it's pretty simple. We work very hard at the Hammer House. We train 2-3 times a day, and we've been gifted. You know, I got some gifted athletes. The Lord's blessed us, and we train hard, and we just want to stay on top and continue to produce champions.
Hey, what's it going to take to get the Hammer back into the octagon?
An opponent. That's it. I'm ready to go. I'm really hoping to come back and fight in the States again. So let's make it happen.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. I'll tell you what, everyone excited. November 17th, Trump Taj Mahal, UFC 28, Kevin Randleman, Randy Couture. Goldie, back to you.
Worm, thank you very much. The excitement on the face of Mark Coleman, the excitement in the voice of James Wormy. I mean, John Peretti's sitting here already licking his chops. And a showcase venue like Atlantic City, you've seen the metamorphosis of this sport. You're involved with SEG, with the UFC. To take that event to New Jersey, be a showcase event at the Trump Taj Mahal, that is going to be a very special evening.
Yeah, I think so. And the card is shaping up really, really nicely. No hints, but we're real excited, you know, and I think it's going to look great. I'll do the best I can.
Now, you always come through, and you will be first to credit. It's not you who comes through, John. You get the fighters here, you get them safely, and they come through, and they have come through so far here tonight. Now, Frank Shamrock in a dual role. John's going to join me for this next fight, and then Frank will be back for Pedro Rizzo on the headliner tonight against Dan the Beast Severn. The Beast is back. Coleman's in the house. Shamrock is now backstage, and he will work the corner in the alliance with another former heavyweight champion, Maurice Smith, getting set to take on Bobby Hoffman, a very dangerous fighter. But Mo, in his last couple of occasions, Marco Huas couldn't really continue, so Mo wasn't able to impress, and he was unimpressive against Kevin Randleman. So Mo with something to prove tonight. Frank will be in his corner, and Frank Shamrock we will try to check in with during the fight tonight. An exclusive bit of access here for the Maurice Smith-Bobby Hoffman fight in the heavyweight division. Hoffman, a newcomer, very tough ground and pounder against one of the finest kickboxers in all the world. Heavyweight Bobby Hoffman from Centerville, Iowa will make his UFC debut tonight. Undefeated in rings, just 2 defeats in mixed martial arts competition. At 6'2", 255 pounds, he can devastate many an opponent, like UFC veteran Sam Atkins, shown here, taking some punishment from Bobby Hoffman. A former football player in the National Football League with the Cleveland Browns. Tonight, he comes to the ultimate of fight games, the Super Bowl of mixed martial arts. So Bobby Hoffman gets to take on one of the most experienced fighters in the world, former heavyweight champion Maurice Smith. Maurice Smith entered the octagon as one of the most elite martial artists in the world. Already a WKA and ISKA kickboxing champion, Smith was also the Extreme Fighting heavyweight champion when he took on heavily favored Mark the Hammer Coleman at UFC 14.
A right hand by Maurice Smith, a combination. There's the kick to the head.
And he is now ahead. He's taking it to Coleman, and Coleman's too tired to answer.
His first defense took place only 3 months later at UFC 15 against Tank Abbott. The champion kept Abbott at bay with thunderous leg kicks until the Tank called it quits.
And that's it.
Tank doesn't want it anymore.
He doesn't want it anymore, and Maurice Smith has defended his title.
At Ultimate Japan, he looked to defend his title again, this time against wrestler Randy Couture. Neither man dominated, and the lackluster fight went to the judge's decision. Couture was given the victory and the title, and a disappointed Smith fell out of the spotlight, choosing to focus on his role as trainer and mentor to his alliance stable of fighters. It would be over a year until Maurice Smith re-entered the octagon at UFC 19 to take on Kevin Randleman. A classic confrontation, the savvy veteran versus the high-flying youngster. But on this night, youth would prevail as Randleman controlled the smaller Smith, and Mo was unable to uncork his deadly right hand. In a matchup of former champions, Maurice took on Marco Huas at UFC 21. The highly anticipated fight was cut short, however, when Huas threw in the towel after the first round due to a leg injury. And so tonight, one of the most celebrated and successful martial artists to ever compete returns to the octagon. At 38, he feels he still has what it takes to contend at this highest level of competition. The world finds out tonight. And he will get set to take on Bobby Hoffman. A tank in his own right. Hits like a freight train, works with Pat Miletich. Birthplace Centerville, Iowa. And taking no time to work his way into the octagon in his debut. Bettendorf, Iowa now is where he's fighting off of, and I like this guy.
Oh yeah, he's all piss and vinegar. I mean, this guy is just an in-your-face guy. He doesn't understand why Mo's so relaxed. He doesn't understand that Mo's had such experience, but he is an in-your-face guy, and he's ready to do it. He wants it really badly. You know, the young gun, right?
Absolutely. The man making his debut, 33, but reborn as a rookie here tonight in the UFC. Veteran of veterans, Maurice Smith, 38 years old. His debut against heavily favored UFC World Heavyweight Champion Mark the Hammer Coleman at UFC 14 was a win for Maurice Smith. Still considered one, if not the greatest upset in UFC history. Then he beat Tank, then he lost to Couture, then he lost to Randleman, then he beat Huas. He tries to go to 500 tonight. He's been training in his ground defense with the TK guard, and he has great striking power.
Yeah, and I thought the Couture fight was a draw. You know, I was a judge for that fight.
Tail of the tape looks this way, John Peretti. The kickboxer and the grappler against another Milicic man. 5 years older is Maurice Smith. They're both 6'2", but Hoffman has a definitive weight advantage. Let's get the official introductions for this heavyweight fight from Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is a 3-round heavyweight bout, beginning with the fighter standing to my left. He is a Milicic Fighting Systems team member. He has a mixed martial arts record of 13-2. Standing 6 feet, 2 inches tall, weighing in at 260 pounds. Fighting out of Bettendorf, Iowa, and he is now making his octagon debut. Please welcome Bobby Hoffman. And his opponent standing to my right. No stranger to the octagon, he is a world-renowned kickboxer with a mixed martial arts record of 6-3. He is the former WKA, ISKA, and UFC heavyweight champion. Standing 6 feet, 2 inches tall, weighing in at 226 pounds. Fighting out of Seattle, Washington, and returning tonight to the octagon, please welcome Maurice Smith.
All right, so Maurice Smith has Frank Shamrock in his corner. Frank is wired for sound. Frank, can you hear me?
I hear you.
All right, Frank, you talked to me about the first 4 minutes being a key for Mo. Why?
Well, he's got to get past this. You guys got a huge size advantage. You ready, Mo? So I want you to get out there and circle out. Okay, get your hands going. Start feeling the rhythm. Don't go head-to-head with him, okay? He's just too big, you know. He's got a big size advantage. So
I think Hoffman's coming right across.
Great stuff, Frank. Yep, Hoffman is going to come out.
Right for us.
Yeah.
He's putting the pace on him.
Yeah.
He dictates the pace.
And Mo knows that. And Frank said that. You know, the first 4 minutes is the key. If he can get by the first 4 minutes, and Mo Royce is known as a slow starter anyway, John. But Hoffman wants to take it to him early, and he is.
Oh, Mo with an elevator, just sweet. Just sweet. Turns it right around. He's learned a lot.
Yeah.
Good job.
Well, this has been a time the last 24 months or so of soul searching for Maurice Smith, too.
But his condition is terrific. He doesn't have both ankles taped. That means one doesn't hurt. You know, he's got the right hand that's healed now. Bobby Hoffman, you just don't want to have inside control.
You know, it's interesting. Bobby Hoffman's pre-game quote that impressed me the most is talking about Maurice. He's an old warrior. He said he thinks it's a privilege to be able to step up and not only fight in the UFC, but to fight and defeat Maurice Smith. He said defeat, John.
Yeah, he just passed the guard, which is not good. He got straight arms out. And you see, Hoffman changes his feet. He just went to Kessa, and he's back again to side control. So he's going to start working those arms.
Good work, guys.
Our matchmaker, John Peretti, joining me for this heavyweight matchup. Frank Shamrock in the corner of his good friend and partner in the alliance, along with Tsuyoshi Kosaka, Maurice Smith.
This is exactly where Hoffman wanted to be. You know, he's got side control, and that's his favorite position.
At one point, and I know it's only a minute and a half or so into the first round, but at one point, does conditioning become a concern for Bobby Hoffman, John?
Don't let him play with that.
No, he's too excited. I really believe that he's an adrenaline junkie. You know, you could see him chewing gum all day and just gnarly, you know. So I think he's just a happy camper right now. And there's the knee I was worried about.
Now, Maurice has taken punishment before. Randleman dished out a lot.
No, he's got an amazing hard head, and his resilience to the body is noted from long fights. And he's very calm in there. He uses very little energy.
3 minutes left.
Wants to stop the skid, he told me. Maurice Smith. Dan the Beast Severn teasing James Wormy about Geritol before, and Mo said, hey, Geritol, Centrum, whatever, I'm back and I'm looking forward to it. And now he's got a half guard applied again on Bobby Hoffman.
Although, he's a much smaller man in half guard, it's got to be a step to get somewhere else. It can't be just a place to sit and, vegetate.
You made an interesting comment, though, as Maurice does stay very relaxed, even though he's in a position in which most at home would think he's extremely vulnerable.
Yeah, people take it as cockiness, actually, but he's been in such wars over his life that, not much gets him rattled. The only person that ever got him rattled was Boss Rutten.
And Boss has done that to more than one opponent. But Bobby Hoffman with the blonde hair working on Maurice Smith here in the first 2.5+ minutes of round number 1.
You see, that's the hugging again. He's got a figure 4 on that leg, and he's not doing anything with it. He's not making any effort to get full guard again. And the time is 2 minutes. Well, I think Hoffman's doing exactly what he wants here.
Yep. 2 minutes left in round number 1, so he's been working 3 minutes. Bobby Hoffman actually played in the National Football League for a half a season with the Cleveland Browns. A very, very good athlete. And he said that he wants to take it right where it is right now, to the ground, and let Maurice carry that 260-pound frame, John.
Yeah, but, it's so amazing. It was just like a stand-up fight laying on its side there. Maurice moved his head to the right, moved his head to the left, put his hand up. He didn't get in with anything.
Frank Shamrock, 3.5 minutes of the 4 you were concerned about.
Yeah, he's doing really good. He's out there. Hoffman's still got a lot of power on him with the weight, and he's moving pretty good. He's in a lot better shape than I had expected, but Maurice looks like he's got it under control.
Maurice stays so calm on the ground when others panic, Frank, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's always just chilling. Right arm underhook, Mo. There you go.
We'll let Frank get back to his corner. He's nice enough to give us that kind of access, John, which is unprecedented in the UFC.
I think Maurice's hips are excellent tonight, although he did just get mounted.
Watch out for this one. Yes, Bobby Hoffman, 1, 2, 3. Bobby Hoffman and Maurice trying not to give him his back, but to move that face away from the pounding that Bobby Hoffman just delivered. Hoffman continuing a flurry.
There's something that not many people do in this sport. Maurice moves his hips against the fence and stands up. I don't know how he does it. He really is uncanny at that ability. Let's see if he can do it here.
There he goes.
And he does it.
Great call, John. Frank was talking about that in an earlier fight, that you can use the fence as your friend. It doesn't always have to be your enemy.
Oh, but he uses it better than anybody, including Frank.
So a knee now.
Now we see if Maurice can knee.
Yep. And Maurice weathering what he expected would be a very difficult first round, as Hoffman was able to get some big right shots in. Now Mo trying to finish round number 1 with some knees. But round 1 going Bobby Hoffman's way, John.
Good.
Bobby Hoffman, 33 years old. There was already jawing going on last night of the meeting between these two guys. And Bobby Hoffman expending a lot of energy in the first 5 minutes. You see the chest coming in and out.
Yeah, it's a really good call. I think he's looking like he's breathing pretty hard right now. And he's very vascular, so, I'm starting to see him pump up. On the other hand, Mo almost looks like he's, just walked in the ring.
Now, Mo is a firm believer in cardiovascular conditioning, uses the acceleration program at the Washington Institute, works out daily with Tsuyoshi Kosaka. Great shape, properly trained, trying to be a little different than he was against Randleman. Trying to be a little different than he was against Couture. You said it was a draw, but he couldn't do anything that night. Trying to be the striker that he was against Coleman and Abbott. And if he can get Hoffman a bit fatigued, then he can take advantage.
And he hasn't thrown a good right hand since Kazanari, which is probably the greatest right hand I've ever seen in my life.
Let's get it on.
Second round underway. Frank, what did you tell Maurice?
He needs to get on his bicycle. He needs to stay out of there. He needs to get a chance to get some power shots in on him. The guy's just way too big for him.
You sense fatigue in Bobby Hoffman. Did you tell Maurice that?
I did. Maurice is having a little trouble dealing with the weight as well. But he's going to come out here. That's it. Use the fence.
Thank you, Frank. Big weight difference. 226 for Maurice, 260 pounds for Hoffman.
Yeah, I was trying to tell you that I saw Hoffman's mouthpiece looking really, really loose as he started and came out. And I think.
Timeout. Time to stop.
Good. Perfect. That's perfect.
So an adjustment to the shoelace of Bobby Hoffman. And you know what? Any extra opportunity to get a little extra gas is a bonus.
Well, I'll tell you, he didn't even have his mouthpiece in full when he came out of his corner.
I want you to keep circling. And as soon as he rushes in there, I want you to dip and fucking crack him, okay? Yep. So go ahead and get on your bicycle.
You got some tape, so they will tape up the laces, because the laces can do some damage. So they tape up the laces of Bobby Hoffman.
He's going to get tired, you know it.
And the mouthpiece hanging halfway out of the mouth of Bobby Hoffman. That's a sign of fatigue.
Oh, clearly.
Yeah, he's tired, Mo. So you got to push him.
Now, Mo, if he can unleash his right hand or throw a leg kick, you know, just to hold him off from that first initial lunge.
Come on.
Circle up. Circle up.
Hoffman tries to close the gap. Yep.
Now turn your hips.
But Hoffman's smart. He didn't stand there for any length of time. He closed the gap right away, right, Josh?
Yeah, and you know, but here again, Maurice picks his hips up and stands up. Now, how do you do that? That's phenomenal ability. He's just such a great athlete.
John McCarthy right there. Bobby Hoffman working Maurice Smith. McCarthy making sure that Hoffman is not grabbing onto the fence. That is not allowed. Frank Maurice, John Peretti's mentioned a couple of times, he stands up while pushed against the fence. What a great move. How does he do that?
I have no idea. That's it, Mo. Now let it go.
Here we go now. Oh, a kick.
Liver kick.
Yeah. And believe me, this is one of the greatest kickboxers of all time. So anytime he lands with the legs, it is potentially devastating. And now he's pushing his opponent up against the fencing.
And he's starting to hammer. And you notice the body shots. Now this is Maurice Smith right here.
Now he eats a knee. But
that's
Maurice will give one back. Yep.
In the right hand.
If you're going to exchange blows, then you're going to move into Maurice's world.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. You see, if he backs off, he can counter.
Yeah.
This is good for Maurice right now.
Yeah. Mouthpiece in.
See, he's blowing it out.
Yeah.
Now, how many times will John let him do that before he realizes that it's, you know, his tactic?
Yeah. Mo feels it now. He weathered the early storm, and now he'll look. Hoffman swings and swings again.
See, Mo looked really meek just then. Except he hit him with an uppercut, and he just knocked his mouthpiece like 2 feet in the air.
Now, Bobby Hoffman is certainly telegraphing his punches, but Maurice hasn't countered yet.
Hoffman just stepped on his instep, like Maurice's instep feel like hammers, you know? Nothing could hurt that. So Hoffman blowing up a little bit here, and Maurice bringing it on.
Now Maurice at 38 still feels he has lots that he can prove. He has proven great success in the past.
The left hook of Maurice is great.
Oh, 56 wins as a kickboxer, John. The majority of those by knockout. Many were probably the left hook.
I'll tell you something. He's one of my greatest idols. I think he's the greatest martial artist of 1998, 99, and the year 2000 for just being in here now. And look what he's doing. He just punched him in the thigh.
I remember the damage that those working of the legs, those punches, the kicks to the thigh of Tank Abbott and Mark Coleman did.
He turned Tank Abbott into Baryshnikov that night.
Now Hoffman, though, with a big charge, and Maurice was retreating.
See, this is the new Maurice. You know, he doesn't really know how to counter on the way back. He used to throw the right hand. Right. And now he just kind of fades back. You know, that's a little bit age.
Yeah, the bull rush more effective against Maurice than maybe it was earlier in his career.
Yeah, the big mount now. This is a bad position for Mo because it's not where he's ever at, you know?
Well, for as gassed as Hoffman looked, he seems to be able to still find something in the tank here with a minute left in the second round.
Yeah, and it's been Mo's round. So he's taken over that role now. You see, what Hoffman doesn't do that Jeremy Horn does, he doesn't hold the head down and then drop the elbow. I mean, Jeremy's Jeremy's, you know, more of a high-velocity fighter. He's more like a blunderbuss, you know? He just kind of clogs down on him, you know?
Maurice blocked all the shots a moment ago. 30 seconds left. Hoffman continuing to work Maurice Smith. Hoffman's impressive.
Hoffman is, you know, a work.
Keep the pressure.
You know, a real worker. Technically, you know, he's not an impresario. You know, he doesn't really show a lot.
But yet it's still been effective against Maurice Smith. Trying to finish the first round, or the second round, pardon me, as he did the first. Bobby Hoffman on top of Maurice Smith. 4 seconds left now, and the round will conclude. Miletich saying that Bobby Hoffman came back and won the round. The judges will make that decision later. This one in the midsection, boom, got delivered. Yeah. And then the Hoffman flurry and a takedown, John Peretti.
You see that weak, spindly right hand, you know, and that he doesn't know what to do going backwards anymore. You know, I mean, he used to just stop, you know, on a dime and hail you with the right hand, then the left hook, then the liver kick again. You know, I mean, he can't stop this guy. The progression, the forward progression is just too fierce.
Well, John, once again, the fighters tonight are wearing the original Boxergenics grappling gloves, specifically designed for the UFC. Compete in a glove favored by grapplers and strikers, the original Boxergenics grappling glove.
And who designed those?
I would guess the man sitting next to me.
Absolutely.
John Peretti. For your free set of gloves, call 1-800-PERETTI.
So when he
well,
runs
maybe
at
not.
you, I want you just to circle
Dr.
out,
Aswanik.
There you go. Now we're getting set for the third and final 5-minute round. Heavyweight matchup. Bobby Hoffman, Maurice Smith. Hoffman's debut. 13-2 in mixed martial arts, 5-0 in rings. And Maurice Smith, 3-2 in the UFC.
That's what he has to do.
Yep. And those will leave a welt.
And there's the knee underneath. If he can start working that little combination above the belt, below the belt, above the belt, below the... I mean, if he can do that, then he'll take Hoffman's lungs.
I mean, Maurice is looking at a third round in which he should have the better cardiovascular.
Shin kick.
But yet Hoffman with a flurry at the end of the second, although he was gassed.
Shin kick.
Maurice wants to get untangled and start to throw some strikes, doesn't he, Frank Shamrock?
Yeah, he needs to get his hands loose.
Frank's preoccupied.
He needs to get his kicks going. He needs to get his hands loose. He's got him tired. He's ready to finish him right here.
Thank you, Frank. Frank Shamrock will join me again for the heavyweight matchup, the marquee matchup, moments away between Rizzo and Severn.
He'll never fit in this headgear anymore.
Smith almost got it. Now, all combinations underneath, uppercuts.
He threw the leg kick and actually moved him.
Yeah, there goes the mouthpiece again too, John. And Hoffman's bloodied up on the left cheek. Oh, another uppercut.
He's going to knee him to the face.
Yeah.
Hoffman knows it, though. You see, he's still pretty aware.
And when he knees him, he wants to pull it down as he brings it up, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, Mo is, you know, look how sexy he is. Over, under, calm. Now the leg kick will come inside again.
Now, we've talked a lot to Frank Shamrock in the corner of Maurice Smith, but don't forget, Pat Miletich, lightweight champion, is in the corner of Bobby Hoffman.
See, but Bobby's not listening to Miletich. He wants him to put his arm underneath, and he wants him to knee.
Is he not, I'm sorry, John, is he not listening because he's too tired?
I think he's pretty spent. And you see the way his legs are close together, kind of like Lechik's legs were. Too close together for base.
Couple more uppercuts.
Now, Bobby Hoffman's a tough guy, but, you know, Maurice can punch. If you're a heavy bag, he'll hit you.
Yep.
He should liver.
Yep. Uppercut. Combination, body, head.
Oh, yeah. Excellent, excellent. Now let's see if he uses his right leg inside. And there it is, in the thigh. I didn't get the word out, but it meant it.
Well, Hoffman holding up that leg now, trying to make sure he can't get it again. It's going to hurt either way, but if you take the blow, it's much better than having that leg stern. But Maurice is trying to knock down the big tree now.
Oh, yeah, he's chopping him down from the bottom up. And look at Hoffman, he just doesn't like this at all.
There's another one, and another.
See, in the old days, Maurice would push back and throw the right hand over the top, and he's not doing that. He's really content just to sit there and pound at him. And with the one leg up, he should kick the bottom leg inside, which he did before. Let's see if he does it again.
2 minutes.
Hoffman looking on the big screen here in the building at the clock. He knows there's 2 minutes left. Maurice ducks underneath Bobby Hoffman's attempted a shot.
He's so intuitive. Oh my God, did you see that? He's fantastic. He's just so beautiful to watch.
He's extremely tactical in his approach to fighting.
He just did it. He unhooked his foot from Hoffman.
Yep.
Come on, Bobby.
Frank, now it's in Maurice's world, isn't it?
Yeah, Maurice has got him where he wants him. He just needs to stay tight and watch for the big bombs so he doesn't take a hard shot. And he's got him exactly where he wants him. Last 1 minute and 30 seconds. You gotta push him, Mo. You gotta push him, Mo. 120.
He has to knock him out.
He's doing great work right in here. Body shots, head shots, knees to the thigh. He's really wearing him down.
He needs the knee to the face, huh, Frank?
He needs that knee to the face to finish it. That'll be the end of this one right here.
Next best thing, a couple uppercuts.
Knee to the thigh.
Knee to the thigh. Frank Shamrock's calling for.
Knee to the thigh. Yeah.
See, I disagree with Frank. You know, his base is strong.
Nice.
You know,
Good combo.
I think that he needs to throw the left hook to open it up, and then the knee to the face.
Keep working. Don't stop.
He's got this. See, his left leg his left hand is free now.
There's a continued combination.
And the first big right hand he's thrown in 4 years.
And another uppercut. 30 seconds remains in round number 3. Smith working and trying to chop down the big tree, which is Bobby Hoffman, who's having a great debut here in the UFC.
Yes, he is.
Man, what a warrior. We have seen some serious hearts here tonight, John.
And I'll tell you, Maurice Smith, if he loses this fight, people are going to have a lot of respect for him. Even now.
There's another one, and another. Trying to leave that indelible impression in the judge's mind. Third round clearly belonging to Maurice Smith. First round belonged to Bobby Hoffman. Who got the second? Who will get the decision?
Oh, shit. Grab that.
Maurice Smith holding, what, 220-something pounds very well, huh?
5 for 5 tonight on great matchups here in New Orleans.
My good luck cup. Throw it. Throw it.
So we will await the judge's decision. And a lot of work, John Peretti, by Maurice Smith in the third round.
No, terrific, terrific, terrific. He's outstanding.
Yeah.
So a great job done by Maurice Smith against Bobby Hoffman in the third. But as we mentioned, the heart of a warrior, the young man fighting out of Bettendorf, Iowa native, and Maurice Smith on his toes, feeling like, you know, he had it going in the third round, and Bobby Hoffman was a victim of Maurice's punching ability.
Now you would look for a 5-round fight, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
What would have happened?
Yep. But good stuff nonetheless, and there's no quit in Hoffman. Bruce Buffer has the official word from our judges, Mullen, Roy, and Ancona.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of explosive heavyweight action, we have a majority split decision by the judges. For the winner, Maurice Smith!
Well, the skid is over. Maurice Smith wins by judge's decision. And extra activity inside the octagon. It's a shame you don't have any fun at these things, John.
Kirk Jensen, I've known him a long, long time. My God, smallest guy in there, and he's in the fight.
No question, right in the middle of the fight. Then again, if you're going to get in a fight, do it when you got Kasaka, Shamrock, and Smith surrounding you, right?
He could be as tough as hell.
Absolutely. What do you think so far? I mean, Maurice Smith, and you said this was an important night for him. impressive, but not yet with a finishing power that we had seen in the past, as you pointed out.
He'll never be what he was. He is something different, and he's a viable option, and I think he has a long way to go again. He's proved his training, and, he's one of my great idols. I just think he's terrific.
What does this say tonight when we're about to see a 42-year-old in Dan the Beast Severn, one of the greatest champions ever, a 38-year-old in Maurice Smith win tonight? What does this say about the longevity of these fighters in the UFC, the Super Bowl of mixed martial arts in the year 2000?
I hope you're not alluding to me coming out of retirement.
Well, I was getting there.
I don't know. Everybody's more technical. Everybody has a lot more heart. And they're looking at their nutrition a little better. Mo's not eating hot dogs anymore and sun-kissed soda. I think it says a lot for our sport. You got the young brooding coming up, and I think it's terrific.
You think Dan the Beast Severn has a lot he's going to show us here tonight, too?
I personally don't think he's ever shown this much.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
Explain why.
Not a finishing hold in his entire body, a terrific takedown, and just a slapping kind of side control.
We will find out. Maybe he wants to prove you wrong. Maybe you're a critic, and he will answer that tonight as he takes on, clearly a critic, against Pedro the Rock Rizzo. So we get set for the big one, but Maurice Smith, a big night. James Wormy, Maurice Smith deserves a big congratulations.
Goldie, he certainly does. Mo, what a fight. Seesaw battle. You came out on top. Man, it's got to feel good to get back in the winning streak.
Well, yeah, but it was like a real win that I'm happy with. But first of all, I want to thank all the guys that helped me. Wayne, TK, John Lewis, Tom Glanville, John Lewis, Roy, Tony, all the guys that, and Jeff Munson. You guys, thanks a lot for the help. But I wish I could perform a little bit better. He got me really good in the first round, I felt. Second round could have been a draw. Third round, I figured I won, but if we could have won one more round, I've been happy. I was fine with that.
Well, let's break it down, Mo. The first round, he came out, set a very fast pace, but you looked content to be on your back and tire him out. Is that the case?
Yeah, I figured he'd be very strong the first 4 minutes at least. So when he got on top of me, I was like, okay, he's not going to hurt me, but he's going to strike at me and try to knock me off with the fans. He fights for the fans a lot. He fought a valiant fight. The second round, I figured, okay, I could probably stay my feet a little bit longer, but it didn't work out that way. But he didn't really dominate me enough to hurt me, but he was on top a little bit.
The second round, you seem to have an uncanny, and John alluded to it many times during the fight, to draw them in, be on your back, and then find a way to get back to your feet. Is that something you work on?
Well, that's probably my biggest drawback. The thing is I don't sprawl well, and I don't get to the bottom very much. But he's 270. It's hard to get him off me. But as I kept moving, he couldn't hit him too often. He fought a good fight. I mean, I prefer to go one more round just to make sure that I won, so there'd be no question. Because if you look at the fight, maybe they count the guy on top as being the guy dominating the fight. Well, the first round, he definitely dominated, no question.
Third round, Mo, was all about you, was all about bombs, was all about body shots, uppercuts. Tell us what's going on right here. What goes through your head in this type of situation?
Well, he wasn't doing anything to make me worry about getting hit in return. He just kept standing there, so I figured I'll try to punch him and score well.
Did you know he was gassed? He looks gassed.
Oh, yeah, that's why he didn't chase me very much then. So I just figured, okay, I'll stay there and just score, hoping that it would work in my favor. But, he fought a great fight. We can fight again. I don't care. But next time, it will be a lot different on both, and I'm sure he'll be better, and I'll be better. This is my first fight in a year, so I can feel the rust a little bit.
Hey, man, the rust didn't show. Maurice, you look great. It's great to have you back in the winning track and back in the UFC. Goldie, take it away.
I'll tell you what, that's why we love Mo, too. Having a little bit of fun. Frank Shamrock has worked his way back, sitting next to me. And Frankie, we'll talk about this fight in a second, but man, we have to talk about November 17th, Atlantic City. You have fought in some great places in your life. You've fought all over the world. Atlantic City is a special place to showcase skills.
I've never been to Atlantic City, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you're welcome to come out of retirement anytime. Oh, by the way, memo from the boss says, if you want to fight, you're more than welcome to. We got a great deal for you, buddy. November 17th, we'll see you in Atlantic City. Ladies and gentlemen, SEG Sports is proud to announce that the UFC will be joining forces with the Trump Taj Mahal to host UFC 28 on November 17th, live from the beautiful and luxurious Trump Taj Mahal Casino Resort in Atlantic City, New Jersey. The main event will feature the biggest fight to hit the UFC in years. UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Kevin Randleman, to face undefeated former champ Randy Couture. Couture is ready to return to mixed martial arts and reclaim his belt.
Randleman should have lots to say November 17th. It's Kevin Randleman against Randy Couture for the most prestigious title in mixed martial arts competition today. Live from the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City on November 17th. Tickets are on sale now. To get yours, call Ticketmaster, or you can get further information by calling directly to the Trump Taj Mahal. Now, right now, we're in the Lakefront Arena here in beautiful New Orleans, Louisiana, and set for a historic moment because our feature matchup faces the most decorated champion in UFC history. The Beast is back at 42 years old. Dan the Beast Severn, one of the greatest wrestlers in the world, to take on one of the top strikers in the game right now. Still the most dangerous striker in the UFC for present day, Pedro "The Rock" Rizzo. I go back to the glory days, and this is what this sport was based on. Royce Gracie in some of the spectacular matchups. More so the first one, as Ken and Dan will admit, though, Severn Shamrock back in the good old days.
Those are the foundation of everything we're doing today. Dan Severn is an originator. He helped develop and change the styles that you see fighting in the ring right now. It's just a great honor to have him back here competing. 42 years of age and putting it on the line. That's a stud.
You respect Dan Severn, don't you?
I have huge amounts of respect for him. I respect anybody that steps into that octagon, puts it on the line, heart, spirit, body, everything, and goes for it. And, you know, Dan Severn is one of those guys.
Maurice does it at 38 years old. Now at 42, here comes Dan Severn. He takes on a great striker in Pedro Rizzo.
Yeah, Pedro Rizzo has incredible hands, incredible feet, and even more better, he has better combinations than I think everyone out there. He gets them off, like we saw Kondo doing order. He gets them off, and he scores, and he lands, and if he doesn't land a hard shot, he lands 30 or 40 little shots that eventually add up.
Well, frustrating times for Pedro Rizzo, just recently defeated by Kevin Randleman. Told us earlier this week, tonight the most important night of my fight life. Pedro "The Rock" Rizzo is the most accurate and lethal striker the UFC has ever seen. Just ask Tank Abbott. Or Trey Telligman. Tsuyoshi Kasaka.
The left connects with TK. He's right back to his feet.
Well, that stunned him. There's no doubt. It didn't knock him out, but it definitely stunned him. And
a big right.
And that one definitely did it. Wow.
A Valley Judo expert and top student of UFC 7 champion Marco Ruas, Pedro Rizzo has established himself as the newest in a storied line of Brazilians who have dominated in the octagon. A unique combination of jiu-jitsu ground skill and deadly pinpoint accuracy with his fists and his feet. Pedro Rizzo is the evolution of the Brazilian Valley Judo fighter in a 6'1", 230-pound frame. His reward for such success? A meeting with UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Kevin Randleman, at last year's UFC 26. The fight started slow, with both men feeling each other out. The brass champion looked content to stand up with the power puncher, and Rizzo maintained his quiet cool throughout the first and second rounds, sitting back and picking his shots, rather than committing to offense. The first minute of the third round saw Rizzo take a nasty, albeit unintentional headbutt, which opened a cut on the bridge of his nose, and Rizzo never recovered. He would later reveal that this was his last memory of the fight. Randleman received the unanimous decision victory, and Pedro Rizzo was left to go back to the drawing board. And as he returns to the octagon tonight, Pedro Rizzo faces the most decorated man in UFC history. A new chapter from a legend, or a passing of the torch. Pedro Rizzo takes on Dan the Beast Severn tonight.
One of the sidebars from the matchup with Kevin Randleman is that Marco Ruas was disappointed in Pedro Rizzo's effort. And more than just having your coach and mentor be disappointed, you're talking about a hero displaying disappointment. Pedro has taken that to heart.
Absolutely, and that's his driving force behind this match tonight. He's out there not only to prove to himself, but to his teacher, to his master, to his students, to everyone, what he really is.
You know, it's interesting. We talk about a man who just devastated the UFC world with 4 straight victories, a couple of them with outstanding knockouts. He loses once, and now we're questioning Pedro Rizzo. Should we question him this much?
I don't think so. I just think he had a bad fight. He had a bad break of his nose. He took some really hard shots, and he got disoriented. He lost where he was. I think tonight he'll come back and he'll prove who he really is.
Now, we know one thing. Dan Severn is one of the best of all time. Dan the Beast Severn, Coldwater, Michigan. It's a very cold day when an opponent has to meet the Beast. And folks, tonight here in New Orleans, the Beast is back. Dan the Beast Severn is a legend of the Ultimate Fighting Championship and a true pioneer in the sport of mixed martial arts. Flashback to UFC 4, December of 1994, the infancy of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and Dan the Beast Severn makes his debut in the octagon.
Backflip by Severn. That's just a straight back play. He'll do it again if you see it steps up too hard. Wow! Oh, that's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. You saw him see it shake his head. Severn's got an arm under the chin. There's the choke.
And a tap out, trying to see it. And a very good performance by Severn.
Those being the days of the tournament, Severn's night would continue against Marcus Fawcett, whom the Beast was able to handle in less than a minute. Next came the finals against Royce Gracie, where Severn controlled throughout, but somehow fell prey to a triangle choke after 16 minutes of dominance.
That's it. Oh! He choked him out. He choked him out.
He returned to UFC 5 and would not be denied. Joe Charles was his first victim, followed by Oleg Taktarov, who received a rude welcome in his first UFC appearance. With the tournament on the line, he faced off against Dave Benito and took out the Canadian in 3 minutes to win his first UFC title. It would not be his last.
He got him in a submission. UFC 5, he came back as a beast, and he won the title.
After a disappointing loss in the super fight at UFC 6, Dan fired back with a vengeance at Ultimate 95. It was the UFC's first tournament of champions, and as usual, Severn rolled through the competition, eventually beating Taktarov again, this time for the title. Chalk up another one for the Beast. The UFC 9 super fight featured 2 legends of the sport settling their score once and for all. Dan Severn versus Ken Shamrock. A sold-out Kobo Arena in Detroit. UFC Super Fight Championship on the line. But it was more chess match than brawl, and neither fighter unleashed their full arsenal. The judge's decision went the way of Severn. The Beast had been crowned once again inside the octagon. UFC 5 champion, Ultimate 95 champion, and now UFC Super Fight champion. Dan Severn had become the most accomplished fighter to ever enter the octagon. Over 95 state, national, and international wrestling titles to his credit. An expert in the arts of Sambo, Judo, and Jiu-Jitsu. A 2-time U.S. Olympic team alternate. And still at age 42, one of the most active and successful mixed martial artists in the world today. Dan Severn is an athlete's athlete and a champion's champion. He looks to recapture UFC glory tonight. Dan the Beast Severn, December 94 in Tulsa. Royce Gracie beat him, and now he is back here in the year 2000 to take on Pedro the Rock Rizzo. Rizzo 4-1 in the UFC, 9-1 overall in mixed martial arts. Severn, the only fighter in the history of the Ultimate Fighting Championship to win 3 different UFC titles. He is 9-3 in the UFC overall. And because of the respect that he has earned over the years, Pedro Rizzo will make his way down the walkway with the music blaring in the background first, and right behind him, his mentor, his friend, his idol, Marco Ruas. Pedro Rizzo, the best striker ever to face Dan Severn. And a man who wants a rematch with Kevin Randleman, but he's got a big opponent here first.
He's got a huge opponent, and Pedro has excellent striking, pinpoint accuracy, beautiful combinations, and he's got a great ground game as well. It's a tough match to call.
Frank Shamrock here in the booth with me tonight. My partner Jeff Blatnick working the Olympics. This is going to be a matchup that will gain the winner a gold medal of his own. And Dan Severn knows about championships, if it be in the ultimate fighting, semi-pro football, in Sambo and Greco-Roman freestyle, tough man competitions, the holder of 90 state, national, and international records, titles for Greco-Roman freestyle, Sambo, Judo, 15 years a coach. Says he wants a heavyweight title shot. Extremely experienced, extremely dangerous.
He's coming off some big wins. He's been fighting a lot. He's been really active lately. This is a man who's not been sitting around on his laurels. He's ready to get it on.
He takes on a 4-time Brazilian Muay Thai champion. But I'll tell you what, he started in the infancy of this sport. He has worked through the evolution, and now at 42 years old, born in 1958, he gives away 14 years to Pedro Rizzo. The time has come for a classic confrontation in the heavyweight division. Our title marquee matchup, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of UFC 27. This event will pit two of the finest heavyweight warriors ever to enter the octagon. Beginning with the fighter standing to my left. He is a Ruas Vale Judo expert with a UFC record of 4-1, with 3 wins by knockout. He is a veteran of Ultimate Brazil, UFC 18, UFC 24, and UFC 26. Standing 6 feet, 1 inch tall, weighing in at 237 pounds. Fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Please welcome back, Pedro the Rock Rizzo. And his opponent, he is a 2-time Olympic wrestling alternate, a Sambo freestyle and Greco-Roman national champion. He is the UFC 5 champion, Ultimate 95 champion, and the UFC 9 Super Fight champion. Standing 6 feet, 2 inches tall, weighing in at 259 pounds. Fighting out of Coldwater, Michigan, he is a true legend of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, the Beast is back. Please welcome Dan the Beast Severn.
Big John was there during the infancy and the evolution. Big John looked at me today and said, the Beast is back, man. He's as excited as any of us. In anticipation of what could be another great heavyweight match. Remember, Frank,
You ready?
Pedro wants to try to end it quickly. Let's see.
He's ready to go for it. There's a look of intensity on his face that I've never seen before. Great counter to the takedown. Just turn, toss, and go.
Severn is a wrestler. He always has been, he always will be. Will he be overmatched by a kid who can strike them as well as anyone in the mixed martial arts world today?
Rizzo's throwing him. He's got his beat on him.
Extremely focused and determined. And Pedro was very insightful when we talked to him yesterday, talking about how difficult the last 6 months have been. He'd never lost before.
I saw Pedro's very first professional fight in Brazil and immediately was impressed. Oh, nice head kick. Skimmed the head there. Really close. Got Dan's attention right away with that.
You know, Jeff Blatnick once told me, failure is the greatest time of learning or the time in which you quit.
Oh, powerful inside leg kick. Put him right down.
No quit here tonight in Pedro Rizzo, taking advantage of Dan the Beast Severn early. Severn's got to want to shoot at one point, right?
He's looking for a way in. He's looking for a clean takedown. You see him throwing some fakes and what, but Pedro's coming with a lot of power. You can tell Dan's really concerned about it.
Oh, got it again. And the knee goes down. The knee goes down.
Right to the knee. Right to the knee. Oh, powerful, powerful kick. Right to the knee.
Pedro Rizzo once and twice, and he finishes it quickly. And a great show of respect as he took out the knee of Dan the Beast Severn. Becky Levy, one of the greatest female fighters in the world, coming in to check on Dan the Beast Severn, and it is over. Pedro the Rock Rizzo promised early intensity, and he delivers a shot that might have popped something in the right knee of Dan Severn. We could hear it.
He kicked him right on the inside of his knee. You see on the replay right here, he loads up, kind of fakes with the hands a little bit, and he comes way in on that knee, just right on the inside of the tendons. You see it flop around there with no weight. That hurt. Immediately, you see the pain register. Oh, my.
Exactly what I told you. I said.
You see it from another angle. He just steps in deep and catches it right on the inside of the knee. 2 in a row.
And that was it. So the Beast is back, but not for as long as he had anticipated. Watch the force in which he uses this. Boom. That's the Muay Thai background right there. That's what Pedro's built on.
Yeah, he's got a very, very strong base in Muay Thai. You know, he trained in Chikarichi Gym in Holland. He's trained with the best kickboxers in the world. He is a phenomenal kickboxer with tons and tons of power. You saw an example of it right there. Just crushed him with that inside kick.
You know, it's interesting. I asked John Peretti, for a guy, and I talked to you too about it, Frank, for a guy who had only lost once, was he being unfairly criticized, unfairly questioned? I guess maybe he answered some of those critics here.
I thought so. You know, I thought he had a bad night. And unfortunately, you're only as good as your last show. You're only as good as your last movie. You know what I mean? He puts it on the line. He had a bad night, but he cleaned himself up tonight, and he's definitely at the top of the game.
Well, John Peretti had talked about that he wasn't certain that the Beast would be able to handle Pedro Rizzo, and Pedro Rizzo jumping up in celebration, and man, what a relief.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 1 minute 32 seconds of the first round, we have a winner by referee stoppage. Pedro the Rock Rizzo.
Maybe taking one step closer to seeing Kevin Randleman again, but Randleman will have to get past Couture in November. Right now, though, it's Pedro Rizzo's moment.
Oh, let's check that replay again. Right on the inside. He knew he had that power shot, and he got it twice in a row. You see the redness on Dan's leg, just sunk it in deep. Look at the look of determination on Rizzo's face, even when it's over.
Now, this is just a step truly towards the redemption in which Rizzo would like to earn.
Oh, absolutely. Let's take one more look at that. You see him, he's bobbing nicely, and he takes that one big dip and builds up that power right there, right on the inside of the knee. Just devastating.
Pedro said, I'm not going to wait for him. I'm going to be very aggressive. I'm going to look for the knockout the whole time. He has shown aggressiveness here tonight. And Dan the Beast Severn, at 42 years old, extremely disappointed in his loss to Pedro Rizzo. Rizzo has the Brazilian flag around his shoulders and has our broadcast member James Wormy standing next to him. Worm.
Thank you very much, Goldie. What a win for Pedro Rizzo. 2 kicks, knockout, TKO, whatever you want to call it. That's aggressiveness, Pedro. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I would like to say thanks to SCG to give me this opportunity to show who is the real Pedro Rizzo. The old Pedro Rizzo is back. I come to knock everybody out. I wanna get my rematch with Kevin because I think I deserve this match. What happened? Everybody knows what happened the last time.
You talk about the rematch with Kevin Randleman. I tell you, a lot of people after seeing those kicks would love to see you get another shot at Kevin Randleman. How would you approach that fight a little bit differently?
I train my aggressiveness, you know. I always train hard, you know. I have no excuse for my losses. But this time I train very hard and I work my mental to show who is the real Pedro Rizzo. I just would like to give this fight to my mother. Yesterday was her birthday.
Well, happy birthday to Mrs. Rizzo, if that's her name. And Pedro, talk about how you prepared for this fight. We know that aggressiveness was very important to you coming in. Is that what you guys focused on, setting a fast pace?
Yeah, I trained my mind at this time, you know. All the time I was training hard, I was in good condition. I was hit hard in all my life, all my career. But sometimes I wait too much. This time I said to myself, I have to fight since the first second to try and knock out all my opponents. And all my fights now gonna be like this.
Pedro, take a look at me. Take a look with me with the kick that ended it here. Talk about it.
Yeah, I knew that Dan stand the right leg in front, and when you kick, the guy who stand the right leg in front is more difficult to grab my leg. So I felt very confident and very comfortable. So I kicked very hard, all my power.
Have you ever won a fight like this on a low leg kick?
I had some fight in kickboxing. I won by knockout by leg kicks.
Well, I'll tell you, you look pretty good. Now talk about your possible rematch with Kevin Randleman again. Anything to say to Kev at home? I mean, I know he'd be anxious to get back in the octagon with you. What about you?
I really interested to fight against him. I lost the last time. I just like to say, Kevin, we can give a better show than we did the last time. We can give a hard fight for all the fans. We can give a great fight. So let's gonna do this.
I'll tell you what, there's a long line for our heavyweight champ. Let's have a big round of applause for New Orleans, Louisiana, and Pedro Rizzo. Goldie, back to you.
Fight. Frank, it is disappointing when a fight ends like that with one of the fighters getting injured. But I'll tell you, Pedro did show us what he told us he was going to do, and that is be more aggressive.
Yeah, he came out to crush. He came out to win. He came out to knock people out, and you saw him. Well, it was devastating.
He is still one of the best strikers in the world.
Absolutely. He is world-class level striker and no-holds-barred fighter. So he really is really going to be successful in mixed martial arts.
How about the middleweights tonight? Kondo shining in his UFC debut.
Just awesome. You know, he lived up to every potential that he had. Just incredible power, great combinations, exciting, flying knees. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with. I'd like to see him fight Tito for the title. I think he's got a shot.
I think he does too. You know, you talk about redemption in this sport. Pedro Rizzo getting a little redemption this evening with the victory over Dan the Beast Severn. A night for redemption also for Fabiano Iha and others. A good night overall here at UFC 27 in New Orleans.
Just an awesome night of fighting. It's just a privilege to be here, to see everyone compete, to put it on the line, and losing my voice never stopped me a beat. I just had a blast.
We had a blast working with you. Jeff Blatnick will be back with us in November 17th, when the heavyweight title will be on the line in beautiful Atlantic City, New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, SEG Sports is proud to announce that the UFC will be joining forces with the Trump Taj Mahal to host UFC 28 on November 17th, live from the beautiful and luxurious Trump Taj Mahal Casino Resort in Atlantic City, New Jersey. The main event will feature the biggest fight to hit the UFC in years. UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Kevin Randleman, to face undefeated former champ Randy Couture. Couture is ready to return to mixed martial arts and reclaim his belt. Randleman should have lots to say November 17th. It's Kevin Randleman against Randy Couture for the most prestigious title in mixed martial arts competition today. Live from the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City on November 17th. Tickets are on sale now. To get yours, call Ticketmaster, or you can get further information by calling directly to the Trump Taj. Now, Frank, I have to say one thing. On a personal note, it's been an honor to work with you, and I think you'll be all right as an actor. You weren't bad tonight. You're pretty comfortable. You weren't great, but you weren't bad. SEG.com is where you'll get the updates for the November 17th fight, all the great results, the pictures, the streamed video from the night that we had here this evening in New Orleans. And for the best in Internet Talk Radio, your website of choice, www.iata.com. Before you leave us to be an actor, again, a fighter, whatever is next, prognosticate, if you will, Kevin Randleman against Randy Couture. What will we see?
Wow, it'll be an awesome matchup. You have Couture with phenomenal wrestling ability, Greco-Roman, but at the same time, world-class wrestling ability. And he also knows how to strike and how to get around the strikes. And of course, you have Randleman, who's just a freak, physically, aggressively, phenomenal wrestler. He loves to strike. He throws them, he gets down. I think it's just going to be a classic battle of two wrestling, two boxing, and just two people going for it.
Now, if it is anything like the middleweight championship between Frank Shamrock and Tito Ortiz a couple of years ago, it'll be a great night. And oh, by the way, there is an open contract waiting for you, buddy. It was great working with you, man.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Former middleweight champion Frank Shamrock with us this evening on a night in which middleweights were very impressive. So were lightweights and so were heavyweights here in New Orleans. I mean, Freeman and Ted Williams, who began the night, absolutely battled till the very end. And Williams actually had the control early. But Ian Freeman, the native of Sunderland, England, in the blue trunks, finally beat down the big bear, Ted Williams. and had his way. Both so dangerous with their punching and devastating in the very end was Ian Freeman. And how about Kondo? Yuki Kondo. It's not Yuki Kondo, it is just Kondo, because he has made his way to the UFC map. Impressive in his victory over Dantas. Fabiano Iha gets a little redemption against Laverne Clark. Laverne Clark loses for the first time in his UFC career. Arms were entangled on frequent occasion tonight. First that of Laverne Clark, and then Jeremy Horn delivering the goods to Eugene Jackson. And then the night for the ages began, as Maurice Smith, at 38 years old, was impressive inside the octagon. There's the arm entanglement by Horn on Eugene Jackson. And there is Maurice Smith, his arm raised in victory. And finally, Pedro the Rock Rizzo beats the Beast. The Beast is back and defeated. Good night, everybody.